How's it going, everybody? Oh, it's begun, or it will be beginning. The actual predictions of however many points they're up for grabs, somewhere over 100. I can't be bothered to do the math right now. But yeah, the annual prediction game where all the major ceremonies get predicted by us is here. Tonight's the first because, of course, the first Sunday of the year has to be awards. So does the second Sunday, apparently. Thanks, Critics' Choice. But yeah, I'm Ashley. That's AJ. That's Owen. Let's talk before we get to the predictions, so then I can put in predictions start at ...
I mean, is there anything pre-show we need to address, or?
I mean, we always discuss the fact that I've got 3 new notches on my belt when it comes to movies that could potentially be awards contenders in one way, shape, or form.
I believe we have the same ones because I was able to squeeze in an extra one right after Complete Unknown, so
Nah,
I got very lucky.
very cool.
I actually fucked my back up again this weekend, so I almost didn't make Baby Girl, but I powered through it. So there's that.
There you go.
It's also very, very windy here, so hopefully my internet holds out. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes.
We just got done with like a minor rain. I can't call it a storm, but there's just torrential downpour.
I swear, this shit literally didn't start till right now, of course. So.
So, obviously, I'm very opinionated on things, and you may or may not share my opinion. A lot of people don't share my opinion. That's fine. I understand that. I'll own that. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion alone. I did watch A Complete Unknown, Nosferatu, and Baby Girl, and there was a clear, like above anything winner when it came to that group. And personally, it was the one I thought it was going to be.
I was going to say, I feel like the one you have first is probably the one I have third of the group.
That's fine. Complete Unknown is easily the best of the 3. Timothy Chalamet was a fantastic Bob Dylan. Monica Bavaro was great as Joan Baez. I like Edward Norton as Pete Seeger. Boyd Holbrook as Johnny Cash was great. Loved the hell out of that. There needed to be more Johnny Cash in the movie. Did a great job too, actually. He didn't have to do much, but he did. He commanded the screen when he was on there.
If I didn't know it was him going in, it would have been a while before I realized it was him.
Yeah. It's been a good year to be a fanning in this Hollywood world, so that continues too. Again, I've said it numerous times. My soon-to-be officially former roommate is probably one of the biggest Bob Dylan fans that I know. He actually took me to Clearwater to go see Bob Dylan several years ago, and I got to see some of these songs performed live. Absolutely incredible, and being able to hear them in the movie, Chalamet's fantastic, absolutely amazing. In a perfect world, he'd be contending for the win, and I hope that he is challenging at least Adrian Brody slightly, but and Ray Fiennes, of course. But the thing is, love Complete Unknown. Baby Girl, it would be number 2. Interesting flick, to say the least. Go all Kevin Smith on you guys, because it's not me unless I do. Kidman was great in it. I very much enjoyed Harris Dickinson in the movie. The movie is not necessarily what I expected it to be, but it was at the same time. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I dug it. I did. And AJ kind of put the fear of God in me when he told me that the movie was based upon the person, not based, but created by the person that did Bodies, 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 which I absolutely hated. But I didn't see that there. And the nods to like maybe an actually well written 50 Shades, and I love Sanctuary, even though I know AJ doesn't. I got a lot of that too.
Yeah, even though I liked Baby Girl and hated Sanctuary, I can totally see Sanctuary in it for sure.
Yeah, 1,000,000% Sanctuary. Yeah, fantastic movie. I very much enjoyed it. So of course, which AJ clearly did the polar opposite, which I'm not necessarily surprised at. I guess I just don't get the big deal. Nosferatu is absolutely beautiful and breathtaking, and not in the Elaine Bennis way. It's like a dreamlike state, and I don't want to like quote other people that have reviewed it and everything like that, but the cinematography is just incredible, absolutely amazing. And some of those shots, I don't even know how they even are possible. And that being said, I guess it's not that I didn't get it, because I got it, I did, but maybe it just didn't work for me. A movie that I saw compared to it at the beginning was in a giant red flag that a lot of people liked, other than me, of course. I am very definitely alone on this boat when it came to this movie. A little flick called Last Voyage of the Demeter. I got a lot of like vibes of that too, like just the aesthetic, the way that it looked, the way that it was kind of paced. It was very slow, very very much a slow burn.
Obviously, that makes. I mean, I wouldn't even compare those two movies, honestly. But given the fact that they're both literally Dracula, I suppose makes them just automatically makes them comparable. But I wouldn't even. Yeah.
I don't. Nicholas Hoult has been incredible this year, and I continue to enjoy anything he does. But again, there's a lot of buzz for Lily Rose Depp, and I guess I somewhat see it, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know how I'm taking movies anymore, because I was wide awake and alert during this movie, and all three movies, mind you. I actually had a very wide awake, extremely crazy 9-hour movie day on Friday, and only saved by pizza in the morning and donuts in the evening. Needless to say, I will stress right now that Lily Rose Depp, I get it, but I don't get it, because there was a lot of things that probably shouldn't have been, but to me came off very laughable. I don't know, some of her delivery just didn't work for me. And AJ is the only one in the room that's going to get this. But I'm going to get so much crap for this. Bill Skarsgård. It's interesting because when he was announced for Count Orlok, it was like, all right, sure. I mean, it was Pennywise. It makes perfect sense.
It almost seemed too obvious.
Yeah, absolutely too obvious. Case in point, Skarsgård actually looks very similar to a mutual friend that, not with anybody on the panel, but a friend of mine by the name of Ethan. And I can't unsee that. Well, there's another thing I can't unsee now. I don't know much about the background of Nosferatu as a character, but I don't necessarily recall seeing a giant mustache as his look.
That's new. I think they're...
So, this is my problem.
I can't remember. There might be something in Dracula lore about a mustache, but yeah, it's on screen. It's new.
The voice was fine, even though sometimes I kind of had to laugh a little bit, because once I got the full reveal and I saw it in its glory, I can't unsee this, AJ. Nosferatu has Dave Oliver's mustache. And I could not unsee that the whole time.
Yeah, if people were expecting a big payoff there, that's somebody we know personally.
It is my former manager's husband, and that mustache made me completely unable to take his character seriously. Completely unable to do it. There were times everybody was like, there was like a pin drop, and you can hear everybody just like completely dead silent, and I was giggling because I just couldn't get that out of my head. So since I had that stuck in my head, and I've now thrown references that none of you are going to get, and that is fine. That is the reason why I couldn't get into Nosferatu. And I am looking at the calendar at this point. I have no idea if there's anything beforehand. The Screen Unseen or Secret Movie for January 6th looks to be Better Man, which I'm super hyped for because I like Robbie Williams a lot. And I mentioned Ego Has Landed is one of my favorite underrated albums. And that's being the Oasis mark in me. But that style. But yeah, I can officially announce that the week of the 9th, The Brutalist is getting a 35 millimeter release at the theater that I normally do the shorts for the Oscars. So unless something happens and Cinemark or AMC get on the ball, The Brutalist will be checked off pretty much around Globe time. So yeah.
And
movies. Completely different, I'm sure.
I can just throw out that my ranking is literally the reverse of that.
Yep.
Nosferatu, then Baby Girl, then A Complete Unknown. I'm fine with A Complete Unknown. I think it especially has a strong ending.
Yeah, it does.
But I just felt like there's no emotional attachment to anything at all. And that was kind of always keeping me distant. And as far as Nosferatu goes, I do really like it. I don't love it as much as I love The Lighthouse. So I can say that. But yeah, like you were saying, like visually it kind of speaks for itself. And the fact that they went so twisted in certain areas. I'm looking at Aaron Taylor Johnson's character's outcome, for instance. That was fucking wild. Yeah. And they didn't even show anything. And it's like, wow, you went there. And yeah, like you were saying, Baby Girl is like, well, I will say that it was a little awkward because it's a very, 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 very sexual movie. And I don't know about you. I don't know about you, and I was the only guy in my theater. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, and it was a sold out theater too.
Look, I was in the very back corner, so I lucked out that I was kind of out of everybody's field of vision. But
it was.
I've been talking up hype for Harris Dickinson, which made me kind of get surprisingly caught off guard that Antonio Banderas is the supporting performance to take away from it.
Banderas is great in that.
Banderas in the third act especially is just incredible, and so is Kidman. It's one of those cases where you can tell it was kind of supposed to be like an Adrian Lyne movie.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't. It's weird how it felt like it went far, but it also kind of felt like it didn't. Like some of it was like really pushing it, and then it was like, oh, I kind of thought you'd go just a little bit further. So especially now, with desensitized audiences are. But yeah, I would still say it's a cliche, but to say what Kidman does is like bold, I guess you could say. I mean, this is the actress that was in Eyes Wide Shut, among many other bold things, but
sure.
I was getting some Eyes Wide Shut vibes. Her character with this character, actually.
Yeah. I see that.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I took away from those. So I didn't really fall in love with anything, but I would say I'm a fan of Nosferatu and Baby Girl. Baby Girl kind of takes a little bit to kind of get you to where it's going.
Right.
But it's all good. So I guess we should get to the Globe stuff.
Sounds right.
Unless Ashley had anything to add. Ashley's the one that hasn't had the floor yet.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for them to fucking come out. I'm stuck in purgatory, you know. I'm only getting. I'm trying to think if I have a quick check of what is due to be coming out next month, because it is basically January where it's all being clustered. So Nosferatu and We Live in Time open New Year's Day.
Excellent.
Nickel Boys is technically on the 3rd, but with some of these, I don't know how accessible they're going to be for me. We have A Real Pain on the 8th.
Excellent.
Baby Girl and Maria on the 10th. Wolfman, A Complete Unknown here, because that might show up in the text, but, you know, that's probably about it on the 17th. And then Brutalist, by the looks of it, is the only one of note for the 24th. Saturday Night and Hard Truths are on the 31st. Untitled Chinese New Year film. That's an interesting title. And then September 5th, Seed of the Sacred Fig. All at the same time. And then, interestingly, because they're doing advanced previews of it, Last Showgirl is not showing up here until sort of mid to late February. Which I think means it's going to be ineligible for BAFTA. So that is one that we won't be... will people remember it in 12 months' time? I don't know, but... Yeah, that's falling through the cracks.
I don't even have a release date for that here. It just says coming soon on all the trailers I've got for it.
I think it's January 10th.
Then that's going to be what I'll watch on the 9th then.
Yeah, the deadline is the 14th of February, and it's not coming out till the 28th. So... And I don't think we can classify it as a foreign film or a documentary as being the sort of one that can get around it. So Dave Bautista looking like James May cannot be considered in my lists. Or in BAFTA's list. Because of course that'll get interesting, because I want to say we've got... Yeah, the long lists are getting announced at the end of the week for that.
Nice.
Will we react to it? Probably not, because we've got too much else on the plate.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's basically our BAFTA long list discussion is basically going to be our final Oscar predictions video. So.
Sounds about right.
All right, are we at Globe territory?
Yeah. Let me get the. Yeah.
And we'll get, as always, get to chat after the predictions are done.
We've got some interesting stuff from Spencer and Josie and Brian in the chat to talk about.
We're gonna start with that stand-up thing.
Okay.
Which for some reason is under Best Picture on Wikipedia.
I gotta find it now. Where are you?
Or excuse me, series. Because we're on TV. So yeah, I guess let me know and we'll get started.
This is the best stand-up performance.
Yes, performance and stand-up comedy on
at the
television.
same time, it basically is best stand-up comedy special to some extent.
All right.
In order.
All right, so we got Jamie Foxx, Nikki Glaser, Seth Meyers, Adam Sandler, Ali Wong, and Rami Youssef. Jamie Foxx is interesting because, like I was saying, not a lot of comedy in it. He does like impressions, and he has a funny song towards the end. Other than that, it's mostly him telling the story of what happened to him. So that's interesting. And Sandler's is interesting because it's kind of weird, because that's the one that Josh Safdie did, and it's got all those like mistakes in it where you don't know if they're mistakes or not. You don't know if Sandler's actually like aggravated or not, or if it's all part of the thing. it's interesting in the way they made it actually feel like a Safdie Brothers production. But actually, I narrowed it down to the women, ultimately.
Okay.
Like, because I was feeling Ali Wong, but then I was like, are they tacky enough to give it to Glazer while she's hosting? It's like, yes, they absolutely are probably that tacky. I almost said that. I think I'm actually going to go Ali Wong.
Back-to-back wins for Ali. Technically, because of the beef. Hard.
Oh my god! Stop.
I've gone with Jamie Foxx just because I think it's a different stand-up compared to everything else that's on that list. It feels like it's something that he's actually willing to sort of make fun of himself, despite the shit that he's been through.
And I took notes on the TV categories because I was paying attention to things. I literally wrote hard to not have the host win. So I'm going to go with Nikki Glazer as well.
All right, so as everybody knows, this is TV. There's no real precedent. There's no real precursor. You just gotta guess.
Yes.
Because oftentimes it actually is quite random. So
I'm looking at you, Kevin Costner.
So I guess we will start at the supporting categories.
I gotta find it. Okay.
Got Liza Colon-Zayas for The Bear, Hannah Einbinder for Hacks, Dakota Fanning for Ripley, Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer, Allison Janney for The Diplomat, and Kayla Reese for True Detective. A lot of the stuff like Baby Reindeer, I didn't know until the Globes announcement.
TV makes sense.
I'm going to say Hannah Einbinder. I almost kind of lean towards Allison Janney, actually, but I settled on Hannah Einbinder.
Okay.
As I said, no real strategy here. You just have to guess.
Yes.
I went with Gunning for Baby Reindeer. I don't think it's the character that is the one that's caused all the bloody debacle in all the press. But spoilers, it's the only thing that I think I have Reindeer winning. Just double checking. Yeah.
So I said something earlier about this being a good year to be a Fanning. And, I'm going to roll with that because Allison Janney has been nominated since 2014. And Hannah already lost in 2022, but it was to Julia Garner, who's not here. So thought about that too. But at the end of the day, my lead-in doesn't make any sense unless I don't say Dakota Fanning for Ripley.
Check out Owen strategizing on TV.
Dude, you don't know.
Okay.
Before I went to World's End, I took the time to actually pay attention to like TV background and everything. I didn't look at anything other than like previous years, so I'd have little note skis and everything. And I didn't do my movie predictions until tonight, so I basically spread it out with 2 days. But I have reasons for everything. TV, movies, not necessarily. That's just something I'm gonna say.
You know what's gonna suck?
When I'm wrong.
I was gonna say, if you end up being wrong, you're gonna be even more pissed than usual.
That checks out.
All right, I'm literally kind of winging these guesses here. I thought about them a little bit beforehand, as you can tell. Some of like this next one, no idea at all on this next one.
Is this the actor one?
Yeah, supporting actor for
Gotcha.
TV, all that TV stuff. We have Tadanobu Asano for Shogun, Javier Bardem for Monsters, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Jack Lowden for Slow Horses, Diego Luna for La Machina, and Ebba Moss-Backrack for The Bear. I was kind of leaning towards the big names like Ford and Bardem, but I I don't know. I feel like I bet on that often here, and it doesn't pay off. So Evan Moss Backrack, anything related to the bear, I feel like is always going to be an option. I'm assuming people still love the bear. I actually feel like it's probably going to be a really good night for Shogun, is what I'm feeling right now. So I was leaning that as well. So as you can see, don't have this figured out at all. So it's probably Jack Loudon or Diego Luna. But I think I'm gonna go the easy route, and I'm just gonna say Ford. Isn't he known for being like much more loose on this show? Like kind of going against what he's known for a little bit.
I'm sure it's probably better than him trying to do press for. I will refuse to call it anything more than Captain America NWO.
Yeah, I'll say Ford, even though, like I said, I feel like I get burned a lot when I go for the bigger names in these categories, but we'll see.
Ashley.
Oh, I'm gonna stick with the bear. Because I don't think it won last year from what I remember.
We'll get there, because that's part of my notes.
So whether they feel, they want to do it because, oh yeah, I remember now vaguely. Last year was the Succession finale. So that was the Flowers time. So yeah,
well,
I feel the bear.
Well, you mentioned Shogun, and I have some interesting stats about that when we get later in another category. But it wasn't lost on me that I had a golden opportunity to go with literally Latino man after all the references for so many years.
And we have to elaborate so you don't get in trouble. That is a reference to what Josh Brolin calls Diego Luna in Milk.
That has forever and a day been my reference to Diego Luna moving forward, kind of like the whole Alfred Molina is the Spaniard Maverick, and I always say that in a million. No matter what he does in movies, that's what he's always going to be to me. Air Force Harrison came out at me a little bit. Bardem seemed too high profile. I don't know how well they took to Monsters, honestly. Jack Loudon, I mean, Slow Horses seemed like it's doing decent. But yeah, at the end of the day, like Ashley alluded to, it's in my literal notes. Backrack lost last year, but that was because Succession was a thing, and now it's not. Hi, get the win.
All right. So that's Backrack for you, for sure.
Yes. I have a feeling we're gonna have some fun this year because so far we have 3 categories so far, and everybody. And that was a redundant statement. I don't care. I'm too tired. Thanks, World's End. Basically, we're gonna split the categories. It looks like because other than this last category with Ashley and myself matching, we've all been one different person for each. So this might be a fun little game this time around.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out who it's fun for.
It needs to be me. It's my freaking time. Dang it.
The great thing is if somehow it all reckons out that all the blind or semi-blind TV predictions just result in us all sort of being either within 1 point each other or level, even though we're sort of going completely different directions. That'll be the more fun. Nobody actually takes an advantage. It's literally just that some people were better at putting the pin in the board as opposed to the others. So
Okay.
I'm guessing the leading actors in the miniseries and TV. Well, I say TV films. They're all miniseries, I think.
Yeah, every single in actress, actor, and best like limited series, anthology series, whatever.
Yeah.
No TV movies at all. No TV movies at all. So. Okay. And I want to say, True Detective and Feud are probably the anthology series, all right?
That sounds logical.
All right. So actress in all of this, we have Kate Blanchett for Disclaimer, Jodie Foster for True Detective, Kristen Milioti for The Penguin, Sofia Vergara for Griselda, Naomi Watts for Feud, and Kate Winslet for The Regime. Am I sort of... I mean, I feel like Blanchett is a total possibility.
For sure.
But am I feeling the zeitgeist here in regards to the Penguin and everything about it being pretty universally beloved?
I'd say so.
With these performances in particular being two things that are praised the most about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be out of my mind if I said Kristen Milioti instead. Blanchett's like right here for me. But I think I'm going to go that Milioti route.
All right. Ashley.
Again, because it's the only place where I'm getting it in, I'm going for Kate Blanchett for Disclaimer. Because you've got to acknowledge Alfonso Cuarón for something, damn it.
Yeah, it's funny because little notes on this. Kate Winslet hasn't won since 2011, and that was for Mildred Pierce and Mare of Easttown in 2021. And then Blanchett lost in 2020. So, yeah, it would make sense for her to win here. But, yeah, I concur with AJ on this. Kristen Milioti. It's going to be a good night for the Penguin.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't entirely sure how the Globes might translate to just what seems to be a general reaction. Like this next category, for instance.
Yeah.
Where we got Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Richard Gadd for Baby Reindeer, Kevin Kline for Disclaimer, Cooper Koch for Monsters, Ewan McGregor for A Gentleman in Moscow, and Andrew Scott for Ripley. Andrew Scott feels like he wouldn't be completely out of nowhere.
Not at all.
Nor does Kevin Kline. Anytime I say The Penguin for anything, I feel like Disclaimer is really close by as well.
That's pretty much what I saw too.
Cooper Koch is kind of one of the it people right now. So there's that. People love their true crime shows. People really, 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 really love their true crime shows.
Yes, they do.
I'm gonna go. I mean, it's got to be Farrell, right?
I don't know. You concur?
I have him down as well, just because I want Penguin to win something.
Well, Ashley, to reveal my hand like seconds before it actually is revealed, yeah, not only do I want that to happen without having any knowledge of the show itself, because obviously I don't watch things, I don't stream, you guys know this. But I mean, yeah, duh. The Riddler's my favorite Batman villain, but the Penguin's a close second, so. And Colin Farrell's phenomenal. So, and
this is you wanting justice for 12 months ago.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly correct. Hell, justice for saving Mr. Banks, for that matter. But again, like AJ said, I'd watch out for Kevin Kline here. I think that might be the main competition for Penguin is anything involving Disclaimer. I agree on that statement for sure.
Are we going ahead and finishing up miniseries, or are we finishing up acting?
I don't know. You're the one in charge of this list.
Let's just finish miniseries.
Okay. All right, let's go.
We got Baby Reindeer, Disclaimer, Monsters, The Penguin, Ripley, and True Detective. I don't want to underestimate Monsters. It had like a whole sort of thing, right?
I guess that's anthology, isn't it? Because the season 1 was the Dharma one.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it is Ryan, whatever his name is, Ryan Murphy.
So it's like American Crime Story then?
Yeah. It's just it's his Netflix American Crime Story.
So that makes more sense, actually. I may have made a terrible mistake.
Although also he has Feud as well, so he's juggling too many things.
So the actors could match up, and then they throw a curveball here.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with the Penguin. People really went all in on those Sopranos comparisons. So which makes me feel like there's a lot of still probably a lot of support for it, but there's a few of these things that I wouldn't be surprised as well. But I'll stick with the Penguin going all the way through, I guess.
All right. Ashley, do you concur?
I'm saying Monsters. I think, as it usually is, I think it's collaborative performances that might not stand out on their own fully, but how it all gels together is why it works so much. That being said, pretty much everything has a chance of that, bar maybe True Detective, which, you know, is a bit harsh on Jodie Foster and Callie Reese, but I just feel True Detective is just, ever since those first couple of series, like series 3 and 4, as Night Country is 4, it sort of like just is lingering there and is just there sort of thing, rather than massively delivering. I didn't hear the same buzz as I did with at least everything else but Disclaimer. I don't know whether Disclaimer didn't get any buzz because it's Apple TV, and I feel barely anything Apple TV got any recognition this year, bar one that we'll get to, because it will never end, seemingly. So yeah, because it's I feel Monsters is the parasite. It's the collaborative efforts, not just one.
It's possible. Let's move on to musical and comedy.
What was yours, Owen?
I mean, there's really no reason to not say it at this point. Obviously, it's the Penguin.
Okay.
3 for 3.
All right. There it is.
I gotta find it too.
All right. For actress in a comedy series, what was the last musical series even?
Glee?
Probably.
I can't think of anything else unless there was like a Glee ripoff after the fact. Huh?
I'm gonna look at the category and I was gonna say to some extent Agatha All Along, but that's because she just sings too much.
Hagatha, take a shot. High School Musical, the series.
Well, for actress in a comedy series, we have Kristen Bell for Nobody Wants This, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Iowa Debris for The Bear, Selena Gomez for Really Murders in the Building, Catherine Hahn for Agatha All Along, and Jean Smart for Hack. I feel like Jean Smart's always surprising here.
We'll get there.
To the point that it probably shouldn't be surprising anymore when she wins. but like Quinta Brunson, Iowa Debris, even really Catherine Hahn feel like they could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm underestimating Kristen Bell. I don't know. I like that at least 2 of the bad moms are here.
Nice.
Brunson and Debris, you really can't look away from. But my mind's just gravitating right towards Jean Smart.
Okay.
I guess I'll say Jean Smart.
I think we've pretty much been accustomed to the fact that Jean Smart, no matter if you're picking based on knowledge or just blind luck, is usually a safe bet. Ashley, what do you got?
I've also gone with Jean Smart, just because I'd like Amazon to fucking release the new season on Amazon Prime, please. Why is it we have to wait like 2 years before So it gets all this buzz and everything from those that do review it, even though they can't see it. You know, the British press, because they obviously have their VPNs and whatever, and do, you know, watch it that way. But legally, you know, it takes 18 months for it to get over here, and then by then, people lose interest. So I just hope it makes Amazon or HBO Max pull their finger out on letting people outside of America watch it. I do find it interesting, though, that we do have the last three winners, including Gene Smart, in this category. So it's, you know,
we'll get there.
If it is somebody else, that'll be interesting. Oh, and I'll just double check the last, I guess, quote unquote musical nomination was Jane Levy for Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist a few years
ago. That's a fair one. I forgot about that show. Yeah, that would be the next one.
That's the only one I can think of that would be musical.
And before that, it'd have to be Glee. I can't think of anything in between.
Maybe, what the fucking... What's her name? I only know her from the F Me Ray Bradbury thing. I don't know whether even she got nominated. I can't remember what her fucking...
Okay. This one takes some explanation. Now, it would be a smart and very uniform decision to go with Gene Smart here. Pun intended. Got the Universal connection. I literally have seen where Hacks is filmed. It's filmed on the backlot at Universal Studios Hollywood. Seems to be a very safe bet. But she split the category. She won in 21 but lost in 22. Iowa Debris is always a good bet. Won last year. Okay, great. Quinta Brunson's always hanging out there. She won in 22. Of course, she lost to said Iowa Debris last year. Again, there's no way you can't count out anyone that hasn't been nominated before. Like Ashley and AJ both alluded to. AJ basically talking about Kristen Bell, which, I mean, again, has a lot of fans, and I feel that she could get a lot of votes. But that's not what this year is. This year is about finally getting your flowers after waiting a long time, at least in this category. And that brings me to the fact that somebody is very high profile right now with a performance that is getting a lot of praise that probably is not going to go very far. So my thought process is that she finally gets her TV flowers instead. I'm going with Selena Gomez.
Really?
Yes. I think it's time.
Interesting.
I double checked and remembered. There was something in between Zoe.
Still on the
I remember there was something between Zoe. It was Rachel Bloom for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
That was musical?
Yeah. Because there were musical performances in it. I mean, it was comedy as well, but it was sort of... It was both. It was like the... I don't want to say the comedy version of La La Land, but, you know, it was that sort of... You know, there'd be acting, but then also it'd just sort of go into random sort of singing stuff.
You literally just compared it to Kids Incorporated. Congratulations.
She might have been in that, I don't know.
I highly doubt that.
She's a theatre kid. It just fits.
Speaking of just fits, let's get a Best Actor in a series, musical or comedy.
For actor in a comedy series, we have Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This, Ted Danson for A Man on the Inside, Steve Martin for Only Murders in the Building, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. I feel like the Martins always cancel each other out.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
And the question is this going to be like a full-blown Ted Danson night, which any night should be Ted Danson night. Like every day we should celebrate Ted Danson. I firmly believe this. wouldn't mind seeing Jason Segel. He's talented and seems like a super nice guy. I'd love it for him. But I just keep falling back to, like I said, I don't know if I'm in the habit of Jeremy Allen White as far as award shows go. And I'm trying to break out of that. I don't know, but my mind just keeps going like, I mean, honestly, the Ted Danson thing would make sense. Like, they have done stuff like this all the time, where you're honoring somebody already, and you go ahead and give them the other thing too. Like we were talking about with Nikki Glaser, potentially. I could totally see the Ted Danson thing happening, but I think I'm going to default back to Jeremy Allen White. So,
Okay.
I don't want that to sound dismissive of his performance, by the way. I've only seen one episode of The Bear. It was the first one, and it's just because I'm really bad at watching TV. So, keeping up with all the shows. So, yeah, I'm just going to go with Jeremy Allen White as like kind of a safe choice.
Ashley, you picking option C as well?
The Bear.
Yes. All right. Let's go through the Rolodex, shall we? Jeremy Allen White's been undefeated for 2 years. Jason Segel got nominated last year. Ted Danson is on his 10th nomination and hasn't won since 1990 for Cheers. Totally could be Ted Danson. You've got the Susan Lucci of this category, poor Martin Short, who has been nominated since 21 and never has been a winner. And I thought about it. I really did. Because I'm out for blood this year and I need to like use like history and like strategy and strategery so I could basically try to outsmart everyone in this prediction game that I badly want to win because I actually care and no one else does. Needless to say, Carrie Von Erich. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Finish out comedy.
Sure.
Okay. We got Abbott Elementary, The Bear, The Gentleman, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, and Only Murders in the Building. Well, obviously, I think I have it narrowed down to The Bear and Hacks. It doesn't always go like that, where it's like, oh, just go with the other categories you went with. Sometimes it's a totally random third choice. We were just saying that with miniseries.
Exactly.
Regardless of all that, I narrowed it down to The Bear and Hacks.
That's fair.
I'll go Hacks this time.
Okay. That's fair. AJ, you're good. Ashley, go.
I think I'll stick with The Bear because of how heavy I went in.
Okay.
If a gentleman wins it, what the fuck?
I feel like Abbott Elementary needs to not be underestimated here.
That's true.
But because we have not yet mentioned anything about it except for Quinta Brunson, because that's what everybody mentions when it comes to Abbott Elementary, especially when it comes to award season. But if you run down, Hacks won in 21, but lost in 22. And then The Bear lost in 22, but won last year. But again, just like Marty Short beforehand, Only Murders in the Building has gone without a win since 21. Once more, I feel it's time to give it its flowers. I'm going with Only Murders in the Building.
Okay. That'd be really interesting. Because it does need... We've never had an Only Murders in the Building night at all.
And, you know, it's going to bother me because when Martin Short wins, I'm going to be like, I said it, I just didn't go with it. Because I didn't have confidence.
All right. Our last three TV categories?
Yeah, speaking of confidence.
All right. For actress in a drama series, we have Kathy Bates for Matlock, Emma Darcy for House of the Dragon, Maya Erskine for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Keira Knightley for Black Doves, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, and Anna Sawai for Shogun. I was talking earlier. I was alluding earlier about how I was probably going to lean that Shogun was going to have a really good night. That's the direction I was headed. I'm also kind of feeling Kathy Bates here, honestly. Did you catch that, or did I freeze up?
No, I got you.
Okay. Okay, because you guys froze up on my end for a second.
Oh, okay.
But oh god, I have it down to her and Anna Sawai, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll do the Kathy Bates thing just as a curve.
Okay. I'm throwing a lot of curves right now too, so that works. Ashley, what do you got?
Hang on, which one did you say again, AJ?
Kathy Bates.
Yes.
I'm going on the Shogun train.
God dang it.
And that's a why. There's a reason why it got all the recognition it did.
All right. And I'll elaborate because that's my little note ski for this. So immediately, the first thing I really wanted to do was go with Miss Helen Kushnick myself and go, Madlock! Like Grandpa Simpson. But no, that was not to be. And Kerry Russell already lost last year for the Diplomat. Emma lost in 2022. And then I saw an interesting stat that I couldn't ignore. And I don't know if Ashley knows what I'm about to say, but it makes sense in my head. Which is funny because the next category I had to go against that because it wasn't exactly what it would have been. All right. So we'll take you back to 1980. I wasn't born yet. Many people that I've deemed special in this world were not even thoughts in anybody's mind, including everyone on this panel. And there was a miniseries on NBC for Shogun. And in 1980, Yoko Shimada won for playing the same character that Anna Sawai is playing in this version of Shogun. I think lightning's going to strike twice. I'm also going with Shogun.
The thing I also do find fascinating about this category is the Mr. and Mrs. Smith insertions.
I thought about that too, honestly. But I'm like, nah.
Because when they announced the series 2, I was like, oh, it'll be interesting to see what happens. We have a different Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So in that respect, it basically is, I guess, following on from the trend of the movie. It's just you have, Mr. and Mrs. Smith pseudonyms for people. And that's how it sort of carries on. So it's not actually a continuation of. It's sort of, I guess, maybe White Lotus, whether like somebody is like a reoccurring thing that's sort of like the person that's, their agent or whatever. The person in the field. But so in that respect, the nominations that Meyer and Glover are getting, they probably won't be getting again unless they show up for desperation if they have to do a Series 3 because Series 2 didn't work.
We shall see.
Well, if I regret not going with Shogun for actress, I won't be making the same mistake twice. So we have for actor Donald Glover for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Eddie Redmayne for The Day of the Jackal, Hiroyuki Sanada for Shogun, and Billy Bob Thornton for Landman. The Globes love Billy Bob.
Yeah, they do. Big time.
That can't really be ignored. Oldman is also totally possible. Gyllenhaal and Redmayne. Like, basically everybody here feels like they could happen. The only one that's not really jumping out at me is Glover, which sucks because Donald Glover's brilliant. He should have every award under the sun anyway. I'm gonna go Sonata on this one. I'm gonna say Shogun. Like I said, I'm probably gonna regret not going Shogun the whole way, but from here on, I feel better about going that way.
My really interesting factoid that I came up with, that I actually found help a little bit with your thought process. Ashley.
I'm saying Shogun, but I feel that I'm missing an open goal here because my heart saying Oldman might win it.
I thought about it.
Because there's a lot of, it's a case of trying to work out what you see is like most of the American press, and then of course with the Hollywood being foreign press, it's like how enamored they're going to be with Oldman. Because this is obviously where a lot of the British people show up and whatever. There was buzz for Knightley for Black Does, but I didn't think that was strong enough to. Only because of recency bias, whereas Slow Horses is in its fourth or fifth season now, I think, for Apple, and they've already announced another one as well. Hell, his character's so important they got him to narrate a bloody poem about spying for Christmas over here to try apparently he just can't get enough of spy, but Tinker Tailor and now really Slow Horses. That's all his career is now. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with Shogun.
All right. Billy Bob hasn't won since 2016.
Has it been that long?
It has. It was for Goliath, actually. Oldman, of course, lost last year. And I look at this category and I know if it feels right to go with Shogun here, but then I look at the fact that the character portrayed in the 80s miniseries that we talked about a minute ago was not the one they went with. They went with Yoshi Toranaga, which is Toshihiro Mifune's character. So that's who they would have went through, which is what Sonata's playing. But they went with Richard Chamberlain instead. So it's a different character from Shogun. So I feel like this is not necessarily like strike while the iron's hot. It's just like, I feel, again, it's going to be a Shogun night, and it's going to be Hiroyuki Sanada. Speaking of that.
And finally, for drama series, we have The Day of the Jackal, The Diplomat, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Shogun, Slow Horses, and Squid Game. Which is out now. It wasn't when these came out.
The controversy about it not being out when it was nominated.
So yeah, we basically went through this. We went through the reasoning. I'm saying Shogun.
Ashley?
Well, I'm guessing you're saying Shogun, right, Owen?
Of course.
Good. I'm going Squid Game.
I'm not surprised.
With the buzz that it, considering this is a guy that said I only did this for the money, and he delivers something that is the caliber of what he's delivered. This now puts the pressure on everybody else that takes money for a dodgy miniseries to have to deliver when a guy that's lackadaisical produces something that's up there with the first season, if not some cases better. Because it's even more, as much as I love David Fincher, what the fuck is he going to try and do with the American remake of it? Considering we've got AI bloody dubbing most of stuff on Netflix anyway, we're bloody, distorting distorting the mouth, so it looks like it's saying English stuff. Why not just do that? Because somehow if they try and extrapolate it over where the culture of South Korea is so much different to the culture of the West, it's not going to work. So we need to give it its flowers before it gets absolutely ruined by Netflix.
All right. So movie categories.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Let's go up Wikipedia and do animated and non-English before we go
Okay.
down.
All right. I gotta find them first.
Go
Go ahead.
Let's do animated,
Okay.
which is Blow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, for some reason Moana 2, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robot. A Wallace and Gromit surprise would be fun. Memoir of a Snail would be a hell of a curveball.
I like that.
I've mentioned in the past the possibility of people this year defaulting down to Inside Out 2 if they can't make a choice.
Yeah.
But obviously, right now, anyway, it seems like a Flow, The Wild Robot back and forth going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it could really be either one of those. I think for here, honestly, any of it's believable, with the exception of Moana. I'm gonna say The Wild Robot, but it could totally be Flow as well, or if they want to throw a curve, like when they did Missing Link that year.
Yeah. That was great.
Prepare for me to say the same thing for the next 2 months. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. For the love of God. This is one I can talk about, because thank God it was on Christmas Day. I get the exclusive for a change. Holy shit. Never have I laughed hard at a fucking capture. That's all I'm gonna say. When you get to that joke, as long as you know your Wallace and Gromit lore,
Oh boy.
it's fucking hilarious. There are nods and winks to practically. I mean, there's a Shaun the Sheep reference. I don't know whether there was a Chicken Run reference or an Early Man reference. But every single Wallace and Gromit thing, maybe apart from Royal Rabbit, is there's one, at least one reference to something from previous things. It honestly feels like it's trying to be Skyfall, in that it's trying to just be subtle nods and winks to the history.
Did I hear correctly? It's basically an official sequel to The Wrong Trousers.
Yeah, the opening scene pretty much is following immediately from when Feathers McGraw is captured from the train bit. And you see bits from there, so it sort of does follow on. It of course it completely now ignores the fact that things like Wallace and Gromit and Project Zoo exist. But yeah, I like the fact Nick Park says Feathers McGraw. You know, I don't get why people think he's so evil. He's a little 4-inch high plasticine model. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just considering how I was wary about them going back to it, and I don't think Matter of Loaf and Death was a great thing. It wasn't bad, but it ruined what was the previous 4 things. If we don't get any more Wallace and Gromit, it ends just great and perfect. It says a lot that because of modern stuff, I was thinking, is there a post-credit sequence? There is not. At least that I'm not aware of. But there's so much to enjoy from it. So yeah, expect every time that this is bias be fucked, because dear Lord, I had more entertainment from that than the other. Well, the other three, because Flow, I don't know if it's even come out here, or if it has, I haven't get to seen it. I don't think Memoir of a Snail has, but I had way more fun than Moana 2 Inside Out and Wild Robot put together. And I feel practical animation is due its time again. Because what, Kubo, which is, I mean, to be honest, there's some bits in Wallace and Gromit where you can tell it's CGI effects as well. But yeah, it's time to acknowledge that stuff that isn't done on a computer exists, people.
Well, I would love to go with Flow here, but I don't think that seems to be the type of movie that the Globes are going to go with. I mean, I haven't seen Wallace and Gromit. Hangs over my head like an albatross right now. Being the only one of these I haven't seen theatrically.
Well, to be fair, it's not releasing for you guys until January the 2nd anyway. But at that rate, I'm wondering whether it actually will get a theatrical release. It feels like it will.
I mean, if that's what's hanging over my head to complete all the movies that are going to be nominated for Best Animated at the Oscars, I'm okay. Sure, I'll force myself to sit through another Wallace and Gromit movie. I'm not a fan. I guess I just wasn't into them. I don't know if I'll like this one or not. I guess we'll see.
Considering the first 5 minutes feels like it's more like Cape Fear than Wallace and Gromit.
I mean, I've got the bad guys, so I mean, I'm good with that. So yeah, Inside Out seems like the default in case of emergency break glass choice. I feel that the only movie that's not in the conversation here is Moana 2, because it shouldn't be. Memoir of a Snail, I feel like, is a very passionate choice that I really would like to see start taking off. It's not going to happen because I feel that Wild Robot's got a chance to go 2 for 2 tonight, and it very well could. So I'm going to go with the Wild Robot as well.
All right, non-English language.
Yes, I gotta find it. Here it is.
We have All We Imagine Is Light, Amelia Perez, The Girl with the Needle, I'm Still Here, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Vermilio. So All We Imagine Is Light got that surprise director nomination, was it?
Yes.
And I'm Still Here showed up in actress.
Right.
Which is very cool for those, but I believe the conversation we have every time is don't ever think this one too much. It's the obvious choice.
Sure.
Emilia Perez.
Yeah, I have Emilia Perez as well.
Emilia Perez.
All right, let's go back down to the bottom of Wikipedia. All right, we should have gotten this one out of the way first, actually. Because
now.
Cinema.
So, by all means, anybody, please raise your hand if you have figured out yet what this category even is, what it means, what it's awarding, who it's awarding. I don't know, but cinematic and box office achievement. We have Alien, Beetlejuice, Deadpool, Gladiator, Inside Out, Twisters, Wicked, The Wild Robot. I suppose Deadpool's a possibility, but I'm going to say Wicked.
Okay.
To me, I feel what Barbie did last year is going to encompass what this award is. It's the one that's going to get a lot of nominations at the Oscars, or some nominations at the Oscars for no reason, and then people will feel cheated by it when it doesn't actually win that much. So I'm going Wicked.
Well, I think completely the polar opposite of what Ashley said in his response. But, at this point, I look at that list and I'm like, well, I see some things that could possibly win. But yeah, it's Wicked.
Was it Adam McKay that basically said films like Wicked would be banned from being made in 5 years' time or something?
I don't remember it was Adam McKay, but I remember seeing that quote posted like a couple years ago.
I feel it's
Okay.
in all its flowers this time, and then when part 2 happens, people are going to realise, why did we like part 1?
We doing music categories?
Might as well.
Go ahead.
All right, we'll do song.
Okay.
We got Beautiful That Way from The Last Showgirl, Compress Repress from Challengers, El Mal from Amelia Perez, Forbidden Road from Better Man, Kiss the Sky from The Wild Robot, and Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. I suppose it could be one of the Amelia Perez ones, because this is an Amelia Perez love fest, this whole thing. But there's the whole will they cancel each other out theory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if it's a canceling out thing, just like they might like another song better that's not from Amelia Perez.
We'll split the votes.
Well, I guess
obviously,
the advantage as well with that is one is a Gomez track, and the other sort of is the Cara / Zoe track. So it is different artists.
yeah. Well, I think I could be totally wrong here, but whenever I looked at this, my mind went to Robbie Williams.
Nice.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go with that. My mind just keeps doing that. It's probably gonna be one of the Amelia Perez songs, but probably the one with Zoe.
I will
But
say it's not a bad track. I've heard it sort of played on the radio because obviously it only just opened here a few days back. I feel there's gonna be a lot of people, at least in terms of the content, that are gonna be very much on the fence about Better Man. Because it seems like the one thing that the director said is the reason why we made it a monkey is because you'd feel sorry for a chimpanzee doing cocaine. My problem is, what if this now then leads to a thing where we won't load, everybody goes to a zoo and like takes fake cocaine and gives it to chimpanzees, and this becomes like some really bad trend that starts happening. I honestly can see that being sort of sneaking in and sort of taking it, but because it's the powerful one, which is the main reason why Amelia Perez, I think, deserves the recognition it's getting, I am going with El Mal. Mainly because I want it to be Oscar nominated, because considering the nature of the way that song is done, you know that they're just going to have people going inside the fucking auditorium in front of Meryl Streep and whatever doing the performance, because that's how it's done in the play. Yeah. That's how it's done in the movie. It's just.
So it's interesting because my train of thought was very similar to both Ashley and AJ. Wanted to go with Robbie Williams here. Very good possibility I'll be seeing Better Man next Monday, which is why you're possibly getting a recap show the night of the awards. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Amelia Perez, heavily nominated. Doesn't always mean that's going to do anything, so you never know. Split the votes, cancel each other out. Either one's possible. I alluded to the fact that Wild Robot got a chance to go 2 for 2. I'll go with Maren Morris here and go with Kiss the Sky.
I was gonna say that's definitely another total possibility. Because any of them really. Is there anyone that seems like it's just out of it? Because I mean, you still have the Miley factor for The Last Showgirl, even though it's out of the Oscar running now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen previously sometimes that doesn't matter. if the song's got enough momentum, it'll get recognition from the other awards bodies, even though it missed out on the other. So,
Speaking of,
yes.
For score, we have Conclave, The Brutalist, The Wild Robot, Amelia Perez, Challengers, and Dune. Obviously, I'm all in on Challengers personally.
Sure.
That it's such a cliche thing to say, but really, like, the score is like half of why that movie works.
Sure.
And I think, as someone that calls it my favorite movie of the year, I'm saying quite a bit about that score.
Yeah, definitely.
Zimmer would be fun since he's been disqualified everywhere else. Just alone for the Harkonnen Arena stuff, how they put them chanting Fade into the music is incredible. I'm actually leaning towards The Brutalist. I mean, when you think about it, there's literally an entire 15 minutes right in the middle of The Brutalist where the only thing happening is the score. It's hard to not ignore.
Oh, it is the zone of interest. I'm scared. Very scared.
I wouldn't say zone of. I mean, it's probably because it doesn't fall in the middle of the thing. But the best comparison I can think to that is bloody Radiohead guy.
Tom York?
No, Johnny Greenwood, and There Will Be Blood. When literally the first 20 minutes is just his score because there's no words.
I have heard that the movie has pretty There Will Be Blood vibes.
I mean, that does make sense. Part of me feels like whether that 15-minute bit is actually where the interval would be. I doubt it is, but... Amelia Perez seems too much of an open goal for me to go for, just because of how music heavy that film is compared to other music. Because even Wicked, I don't feel has got that much singing. I mean, of course it doesn't. You know, it's the length of the actual stage musical. I want to say Conclave, but for shits and giggles, let's go with Doom Part 2. Let's have it really sort of get nonsensical. Have it win everything. I don't think it's up for Grammys, but yeah, just have it like win everything, and then like no. then we have a blind guess for BAFTA and Oscars.
Well, I alluded to The Wild Robot winning everything was nominated, and I completely forgot it was nominated for score as well. I ain't winning that. Brutalist seems logical. Challengers would be fun. Doom would be expected. I don't know jack about Amelia Perez. And I hate the fact that I have absolutely no idea when the earliest I'll see that movie is. If Ashley won't do it, I sure as hell will. Conclave.
I thought that's where you were headed, because that's definitely a great choice also. Are we on to screenplay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Owen is laughing sinisterly.
Yes, I know what I'm going to do.
I know what I'm going to do.
The fact, though, that practically this is the same list as we'll be discussing in a few minutes for director. Pretty much.
I need to do this, and internet, hang on until I get through this. The wind is still going. The wind's trying to end this for me as much as it can.
So
let me get through this before the wind takes my internet out.
You want to hear this, trust me.
I need to say, and this is this category. This isn't me like diverting or me being anecdotal.
Nope.
This is something that needs to be said about this category, and I hope that you'll keep listening. I understand when we get a little anecdotal, you might just want to skip to see what we say, but just please, just this once, I need you to hear this. Some people might tell me I shouldn't say this publicly. I don't know what I have to lose now.
Accurate.
I've already lost it. So
Yes.
why not say this? Those of you who were here when we were talking about the 2021 season are aware of an incident that went down with a movie that was released during the 2021 season by a filmmaker that may or may not be in this category, and the next category, and the biggest category. And not just here, in all the fucking shows. In the shows we don't even have nominees for yet, he will be at the top. And I need to talk about what happened again in 2021, because I feel like the people that were here for that don't realize how relevant it still is.
Yep.
Because I've been very passive aggressive when I mention it during this season, so I don't think my point is being made on just how infuriating this award season has been for me personally. The incident in 2021 was I wrote a screenplay around this time of year in 2015, 9 years ago, this month. That script was called Strawberry and was about an impressionable young sex worker named Strawberry who gets taken in by this sort of despicable older guy that becomes her pimp, essentially, gets her into sex work and in that whole seedy world, and is her place to be is basically a coffee shop. Cut to 6 years later. Actually, no, let's back up to 2018 before we get to 2021. After I've written Strawberry in the winter of 2015, I sit on it going like, can I make this? Is it low budget enough? Nobody will want to do this subject matter. What do I do with this? I don't know. So I write like 3 more scripts and I just hang on to Strawberry. Then get to like April, sometime in the spring of 2018, somebody gives me the idea to put it up on the blacklist. So I upload Strawberry to the blacklist in the spring of 2018. And you have stats on there. When you get evaluations, you'll have like a reader count where it's like, this is the number of readers to give you evaluations that have downloaded your script. There's a number next to that that's industry downloads, where somebody in the industry has downloaded your script. At some point, while I had Strawberry on the blacklist in the 2018 area, this could be the 2018 area to the 2019 or early 20 area, like right around where lockdown with COVID was. And the industry download went up to 1. I didn't get notified about anything, just somebody in the industry had apparently downloaded Strawberry. About after a month or so, that 1 mysteriously went back down to 0 with no explanation. Cut to 2021, a movie comes out that is an indie darling about an impressionable young sex worker named Strawberry who gets taken under the wing by this despicable older guy that takes her into sex work and shows her that world. And she hangs out a lot at a donut shop, if I remember correctly. Now, what I haven't told you yet, and I didn't tell you back then because it wasn't fucking relevant, was there is another subplot in Strawberry, my script, where and I have the evaluations. I have evaluations dated 2018 if you want screenshots of that.
Yep.
And all the shit that's there, unless that shit got erased like everything else, I don't think so. As far as I know, it's still there. There is a subplot in my script where Strawberry is introduced to a younger guy. And the reason she's with this younger guy is because her pimp knows of a very high profile person, a very important person. And this guy is that important person's son. And he and Strawberry start off as this sort of business dealing, but they ultimately fall in love. And I swear to fucking God, when I'm rolling into my second half of the script, Strawberry's real name is revealed, and it's very important to the story what Strawberry's real name is. Owen, tell me what Strawberry's real name is.
Strawberry's real name is Annie.
And I feel like, to my understanding, half of Mikey Madison's dialogue is "Call me Annie. My real name is Annie."
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with that going, and the thing about it too is that's like what it is. I don't have the whole slapsticky running around town thing that Honora has. And I don't know, I never saw Red Rocket. I never wanted to see Red Rocket once I found out what I found out. I fucking know enough. And so the thing about it was I can't really do anything about this because character names is obviously a big deal, but names are names. Plagiarism's like a really specific, it would have to be word for word for me to ever even try to do anything about it. So technically, he's allegedly, if this is what happened, I don't like have a case necessarily or anything. I never would have thought I would have needed to screenshot the one industry download thing. It would have never crossed my mind I would need that
Right.
for something like this. Especially from a guy that seems like, from the type of filmmaker he is and the kind of projects he does, would typically be the guy that would like champion people that haven't taken off. They would write a script like this. Like he's an executive producer on that Spirit Awards movie with the long title. It's like, but no, you couldn't see that and say, oh, I'm like into this. This is my kind of thing. I could help this dude get this off the ground. It's like, no, I'm going to use this as writing prompts for my next 2 projects. Shamelessly. It's unbelievable how shameless it feels. And I could just imagine people saying like, oh, it's a coincidence, or, oh, he didn't steal like everything, you know? But it's like, even if I tried to make that script now, everybody's going to be like, oh, you're just trying to be this guy. Even though you wrote this in the winter of 2015, before either of those movies existed, six whole fucking years before Red Rocket existed, let alone Honora. So you know what? When I started this, I was planning on not calling him by name.
Yeah, you were. I know, because we've had this conversation.
So he went from I was a fucking cheerleader for him. You will go back. In 2015, I praised Tangerine on this channel. In 2017, I put the Florida Project in my top 10 of that year. I was a champion for this guy, and then suddenly, this. So, the reason I'm telling you this, for this category especially, because we're doing predictions, I just want you all who have watched this and heard this to think about this when he is inevitably on the stage winning for this. And probably BAFTA, and probably Oscar too. And maybe not just this category. So I don't know how much clear I can make how I've been feeling about this awards. Like I said, I've been passive aggressive up to this point. But my patience is so far gone with this. And I'm trying to be the bigger person. I've done the thing every year since like 2010, where every award season I put charts on the wall. And I do like all the cities wins and all the small places and stuff like that. I've got posters on my wall where I'm writing his name in. I could say, fucking piece of shit or something. But no, I'm writing his name. And it's like, so I'm writing this person's name on the wall as a winner for all these things. When there's, I guess I'm trying to be the bigger and better person here and just go along and kind of no sell it. But now, I feel like now that we're at the point where I'm going to have to start watching him win trophies for this, I've reached my breaking point. And like I said, technically you have to put allegedly in front of all of this. So pretend I've done that the whole time. But surely to God, even if you do think it's the biggest coincidence to ever fucking happen, you can at least understand why I might be in a certain place when this comes up. Why I try to ignore it when people that I care about are praising this movie. It's like I don't know what I can do. I just have to kind of sit back and watch helplessly for the rest of the season while this happens. Because I don't think this I'm shouting as loud as I can because this is the farthest my voice is going to go with this. Like, this is not going to get to him. This is not going to get to Academy voters. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to have to sit here and take it up the ass is what I'm going to have to do, because what else can I do? Long story short, I think he's winning the Globe. And this is where it's going to start. Ashley?
Okay. Hang on. Well, no, because I was trying to, because I realised I had to get the Annie nominations thing just on one of the other spreadsheets. I felt like, I had a chance to there, so the soapbox moment could happen. And because I feel like I might as well get this out the way as well, so we can get off the fabulous baker boy, or whatever the fuck we call him.
Oh, by the way, I heard about the fucking strawberry billboard in Vegas and Honora. By the way, real fucking cute.
So Spencer put as the first thing, considering what happened, I feel the line "sorry if it's a touchy subject" might be a bit of an understatement. But Spencer apparently had a dream about it after the last stream. What happens if Sean Baker works with Emily Blunt?
Do not think the thought has not crossed my mind. I get like a bad feeling in my stomach when I see Willem Dafoe anymore. It was like, that was one of my favorite performances of that year too. Willem Dafoe is so incredible in the Florida Project, and just everything is so fucking soiled. I don't know.
I don't know whether you'll be pleased to know this, but all I can say is it changed my life. I'm going with Substance.
Yes.
If I, what's the phrase? Your mouth to God's ears or something? Is that the phrase?
I just feel, obviously, regarding the alleged borrowing of material, shall we say, something that's that original and that out there from a female writer is something that needs to be credited and acknowledged. I feel more than anything. I don't know whether when we get to... I'd like to see it stand out here, because I feel when it gets to... when they actually split it to original adapted, it might stand less chance. Weirdly. And also because of the Hollywood foreign press, I feel Honora might be the America darling, but the foreign press might go with Substance. because it just feels much more an international flavored sort of, even though it's obviously set in Hollywood, and the final scene is literally on the Hollywood Walk of Fame pretty much. It just feels like a very not Hollywood movie. And because I don't really having it getting recognition in any of the other sort of, I don't have it down for director, shall we say. I feel Coralie needs some recognition for what she put into it in some shape or form. So I feel screenplay is the more comfortable of the two that I want to go with, at least this time.
All right. First off, I'm so goddamn proud of you. It's not even funny.
My face is on fire right now.
I know. I know. As someone who has cut many scathing promos on here in the past, very personal stuff that I've said, that's the closest you're ever going to get to like legitimate AJ. 100%.
And you're saying that as somebody that's fucking read that script.
I know that script, and I've seen both movies, and he has a case, but you can't say that. I'm at the point now. I'm just going to take the F and L at this point because he doesn't deserve anything, and I'm not going to give him any accolades. I'll just eat the points. I don't give a damn anymore. But that being said, they clearly love Emilia Perez. But weirdly enough, I don't think they love it enough to give it much anything. It's going to have an American Hustle situation. It's going to get nominated for double digits, but it's not going to do very well.
I've been getting that vibe.
And we'll allude to that tomorrow, actually, when we get to that conversation. I love Conclave to be in this conversation. I don't think it is. Can't doubt the Brutalist for anything here at all. But not yet. Soon, but not yet. I feel like Ashley stole my thunder with Coralie here because unlike him, I do have her getting in for director, and she will, and I will make that happen one way or another. But at the end of the day, I just look at this screenplay lineup, and I look at what I picked for the rest of the categories, and one thing jumped out at me. I'm going with Jesse Eisenberg.
Okay.
It is a solid script. It deserves recognition, and I feel that it could easily get it here. Not easily,
this is...
but it could get it.
I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but with a real pain of substance and Conclave here, this is like a really strong category.
And to be fair, Ashley, I would be okay if you were right. 100%.
To be honest, this is the first time I feel in a number of years that I think obviously it's different categories when we get to the Oscars, but if any of those 6 did win, there'd be a little bit of resentment if Honora gets anything, because I have semi-personal connections here with the situation. There's nothing on that list that I'm like, why is it there? I feel it's a very strong script list this time. I would not object to see any of them actually get the win.
I mean, you have my favorite movie of the year. You have some really solid movies here. You have movies that are unseen by me, which I don't know if I'm going to like or hate. So, I mean, it's a good list.
I'm trying to just work out whether Owen's going to laugh his ass off when penis to vagina is said in that way in the song. And it was like that was written down on a script.
I don't know. Nothing could beat Donkey with Headphones with me watching that in a theater. So, all right. There we move on to director.
We got Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, that guy for Honora, Edward Berger for Conclave, Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, Coralie Farjal for The Substance, and Paolo Capote, I think is how you say it.
That sounds right.
All We Imagine Is Light. obviously he's always a possibility.
Yep.
ODR is very much a possibility, but and Farjah is obviously who I would root for.
Yes.
I would say it's probably actually down to him and Corbet.
Yep. That's how I see it too.
But the Corbett debate. I heard Brody say Corbet. I'm going to go ahead and trust him since he worked with him to make this whole giant thing. And if it's between the two of them, I hope it doesn't just sound like anything I say now sounds biased. That's the only thing with that.
That's what we're in now. It's okay. Do not worry.
I did say him for screenplay. For here, I'm gonna go Brady Corbet. And sight unseen on the Brutalist, I'm gonna be like I said, if it's down to the two of them, I'm gonna be Brady Corbet's. I'm gonna be the biggest cheerleader he's ever had. Didn't he make this? Didn't he write this with like his wife or his partner?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bigger cheerleader for him than she is.
That's fair.
I'm just double checking. The only problem we have there is, of course, Brutalist isn't WGA eligible. So now we've got to try and work out what to champion against Sean Pertwee.
Damn near nothing is WGA eligible. This wonderful list I have here that I did at work. What do you want with?
Oh. I want to say Corbet, but I'm just because I want to give it something for people that aren't just on the camera. I am saying Hamburger.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Conclave.
I would not be opposed to this at all.
Which
I mean, by the way, if anybody was gonna say Baker here, I'm not like gonna snap or anything. It's just like I was on the screenplay. It's like it's a fact. It's just a fact I have to live with.
As I say, though, I do ignore. If you obviously take out Conclave, I think Kapadia did the script for All We Imagine Is Light. I'm not sure. Because that's the thing. This feels the most heavy time where we've seen director and screenplay actually match up.
Right.
Yeah, she did also write it.
The amount of projects we are seeing where we're getting writer-directors, it's not just like how we see with Conclave when somebody takes the adaptation and then directs it. There's a lot of personal visions here. Which, back in the day, God forbid you wrote your own screenplay that you directed, which would be a refreshing thing. So, yeah, of course I went for the one that wasn't written by the director.
Of course. There's got to be a reason Kapadia is in here. Could be a token nomination, but obviously they're hanging out on the bottom of the list, of course. But I mean...
Okay.
Remember, it's Hollywood Foreign Press, so we're talking I think it's roughly 120 now. I think they upped the numbers or whatever. So in that respect, it probably is that to some extent.
I would be happy if Ashley was right, because I've been championing Burger all season before anything started when it came to Conclave. And now having seen it, I'm still fine with that.
I don't think you won last year. Hang on, I need to right click on open a new tab.
Oh, quite on the list.
I was gonna say my big thing with when I've had Burger in since the beginning, and my main thing was how insane it is he didn't get in for All Quiet on the Western Front, especially in retrospect.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, he lost to Sir Nolan, as we now have to call him, Sir Nolan.
We literally talked about that for like hours during some sort of an award show we did. Guaranteed. Farjah here would be phenomenal. I would love if that started. That'd be great. I know it's just the Globes, but visibility is a wonderful thing sometimes. It's gonna be ODR's first and last stand. possible. Or it could start something. We don't know what the Amelia Perez train is like. I mean, right now it's kind of a tiny caboose that is really chugging along, but I don't know exactly how powerful it truly is. Don't know why I made that analogy, but here we are when I haven't only had 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, I've always been wanting to say this, and for lots of reasons. Again, sight unseen, until, unless something happens, almost guaranteed the week of the 9th of January in 35 millimeters, like nature intended, in the nice theater that's nice and warm. I'm going with Brady Corbet as well.
Nice.
Oh, I just noticed it. It wasn't Sir Nolan. It didn't get nominated in the year that other film that we're not allowed to mention because of Owen
Dear God.
lost out to Spielberg for Fabelmans.
I was thinking All Quiet was 2022.
Yeah, I lost track of the years, but yeah, so yeah, James Cameron made it in that year. Why was that not Edward Berger? Please.
This next one might be a little tricky.
Yeah, because I have a direction I want to go with this, and I don't necessarily... I can't say I don't like it, but I have reasons.
Supporting actress?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We got Selena Gomez for Amelia Perez, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Margot Qualley for The Substance, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. I've got it narrowed down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Saldana and Grande.
Okay.
I don't think Saldana and Gomez are in danger of canceling each other out because one is leading and one is supporting.
Dear God.
And typically that doesn't typically happen. Usually it is like there's a double nominee and one takes off more than the other one does. That's pretty typical. I'm on this whole thing that Grande is going to fall short this season and everybody but me is going to be super, super surprised and shocked and all that. But I could totally be wrong about that.
Okay.
But it would not surprise me if she won here because it's the Globes. People have won Globes and then like stopped dead before. So I think I'm leaning Zoe Saldana.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna say. I think it helps a lot that it's actually gonna help her a lot to like win stuff that she's leading because it gives her more of a showcase. I mean Grande's basically leading too, but yeah.
Ashley?
This is where I don't know whether I ruin Owen's thunder or try and go out on my own. Because I don't think that Gomez and Grande are the only ones I'm ruling out here. I don't think will make it. So then it's between the 4. And just so Owen gets the solo chance to shine and maybe gets the solo point, if I think I know where he's going. I'm also gonna go Saldana.
Okay.
I just...
I'm gonna lose this.
Again,
point.
it's sort of... It's something I'm not confident with, because they don't usually try and put leading stuff in supporting. Because when it has sort of done that, it's never really gone well, at least at the Globes. Maybe the Oscars and the SAGs are a bit too sort of, inside baseball sort of stuff, where it's the actors actually doing it rather than the Hollywood Foreign Press or the critics or whatever. Because I feel that the critics are superficial, Zoe Saldana. But I want the other thing to happen, and I'm hoping it's what Owen's about to say.
As a wise man once said, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Oh no, Felicity Jones is winning. Goddammit.
Oh hell no. That's That's not even a thought in my mind, sir. But yeah, I know what Ashley's thinking, and I want to go for it. I really do. I really want to, especially before I do a little bit later. But
as superficial as the Globes are, I think if Quali wins,
oh god, it'd be amazing.
I think it legit puts her in proper contention to actually be in with more of a stronger shout than maybe just making it in as a 4 or 5 in the Oscars list. It'll bump her up and get more eyes on it.
I mean, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. That conversation's for tomorrow, but I mean, if the shoe fits, use it as a phone.
Agent 66.
Flip it around. If you look at it, Rossellini should be a lot more in this conversation, but I feel the Globes might be possible. Actually, I feel like that might be a SAG thing, honestly. There'd be more contention.
It'd be very Ruby Dee in American Gangster when she won SAG.
That's what I was thinking. And it would be a smart move to go with somebody from Amelia Perez. But remember back to when we started, when I was talking about television? I said that Selena Gomez would get her flowers, but for television and not movie. So that eliminated her from the conversation. So yeah, it left me with this. The GP are going to watch the Golden Globes. The ones that don't know any better are the ones that are just like watching it because it is something to watch. Because, oh God, Wicked got nominated. Awesome, let's go. And when it overperforms, which it will, spoiler alert, it's going to get everybody's hopes up. And their hopes are going to be dashed when this is the only thing happens. I am going with Ariana Grande here because I think it is her first, last, and only stand. I'm still nominating her for one of the 5, yes. But she's not going to win anything else. And this is her big win. She's getting one, and it's the Globe.
That's another one of those scenarios that I can't think of an exact example, but it definitely feels like that's happened before.
I think it has too, actually. Something that we've been doing at Go For, but I don't remember what year it would have been.
Maybe I'm thinking of Stallone for Creed.
Oh, God, don't get me started with that.
How close it really felt like that was, even though he only won the Globe.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, I think he won the Globe, but he wasn't nominated anywhere else until the Oscars. But the narrative really made it sound like he was the one that was going to beat Rylance, and people were shocked when it didn't happen.
Everybody that's not in the know, they're just watching the show like recreationally, is going to think that Grande winning the Globe is going to push the button and say, oh God, immediate Oscar, let's go. Nope.
The people that don't know that SAG and BAFTA exist.
Exactly. Which AJ's premonition of Grande missing in general could potentially happen based on that way of thinking. I don't think that's going to happen, but we don't know. We'll have to wait a couple months to find out.
And like we were saying, once again, that's tomorrow's conversation.
It is. We'll have that conversation tomorrow, literally like 24 hours from today, from this moment.
Yeah.
We'll be like deep in the conversation by the time. We might actually be like maybe 10 awards through at this point, at this rate. That felt good. Best supporting actor.
Hang on, I had to while you were talking, I had to double check that Ruby Dee won SAG. I had to. She did. Okay, we're good on that.
Fantastic. Okay, good. Let's go.
All right. For supporting actor, we have Yura Borazov for Honora, Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain, Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce for The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice, and Denzel for Gladiator. Personally, I would love if it was down to Kieran Culkin and Denzel. Guy Pearce is really moving up in the conversation here.
Right.
Actually, I would probably say if I had to narrow it down to 2, it would be Culkin and Pearce.
That sounds logical.
And since I love A Real Pain so much, and I love Culkin in it so much, I'm trying to make be absolutely positive that I'm not saying that because it's what I want. because he's been doing very well up to this point, but so has Pierce.
Sure.
And I think it helps that Culkin is basically leading. He has a little bit more to showcase. So I'm going to say Culkin, but I think Pierce, if it is Culkin, Pierce is like right behind him.
It's fair.
Is what I'm thinking now. Because I don't know about you, Owen, but my expectations were pretty much met on Norton in A Complete Unknown. I think he's good in A Complete Unknown, but if he gets an Oscar nomination, that's going to be a very underwhelming nomination.
I'd rather... Okay, you like to bring up J.K. Simmons all the time.
Correct.
And I feel that that's going to be what that nomination is this year. It's going to be the one that I super was excited about, and you were like, it happened.
That's what I meant when I said it exactly meet my expectations.
A shade under Philip Seymour Hoffman is Lester Bangs at Almost Famous.
What about Lester Bangs?
Almost Famous.
Yeah, I missed the segue to Lester Bangs. I got lost.
It's okay. Do not worry. May or may not have messed that up. It's okay. I'm tired. Deal with it. Ashley, are you gonna concur, or are you going to go a different route?
Again, I'm trying to think like an HFPA person, not as somebody that's looking at the awards, because I feel the Hollywood Foreign Press may have possibly a vendetta.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I'm literally cutting and pasting my tick. I'm actually gonna say Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice.
Hell yes.
Very interesting.
I think this... Spoilers, I don't think it's getting actor drama. But I think, Hollywood Foreign Press might be less worried about the whims of Donald getting angry at them. Compared to most of Hollywood, so... I'm going to say that. I was saying Culkin, so if Culkin wins, I whiffed it again. But, be weird to see Culkin, after getting nothing, get back-to-back. Admittedly for two separate projects in succession and A Real Pain, but that doesn't often happen, back-to-back wins.
And
then of course I make the mistake, and then it's Denzel, because of course it's Denzel. It's bloody Meryl Streep.
I would stand by that win. That'd be amazing, actually.
Yeah. That'd be great. Denzel would be pretty obvious, but I don't know if they're going to go with the obvious. Jeremy Strong would be amazing. I'd love that. Love that all day, every day. I mean, I like Edward Norton a lot. And he did show his old school Sheldon Moops portrayal.
I knew that would come up. If you were going to bring it up, I was.
God, yes, of course I did. I definitely got that vibe, 1,000,000%, especially when singing. Kudos to everybody that sang on with their own voice in that movie too. That's another thing I want to throw out. Like, everybody was singing their own songs, and it was amazing. Guy Pearce is like, yeah, he's here. He's 100% here. I don't think he's here. And, it just makes sense, because if I go with what I've gone with otherwise, there's only one answer to this. It's Kieran Culkin.
All right. So the comedy categories.
I can't say Boom covered yet. Stupid Amelia Perez ruined everything.
We've got Amy Adams for Night Bitch, Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carlos Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, and Zendaya for Challengers. Now, of course, in a perfect world, we'd be looking at like a Demi Moore sweep.
Yes.
So far, that has not been the case. Mikey Madison, I think, has most things right now.
Unfortunately.
And she's the one that I think I'm eyeing for this. Do we need, now that we've seen, now that it's out there, do we talk about Night Bitch, or do we?
I talked about Night Bitch. I talked about Dare to Be Stupid being one of my favorite scenes in a movie this year.
Yeah, and that's probably the tone it should have kept.
I agree.
But it's like it tries to be this body horror comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes so far. Like, I can understand a tonal shift since it's all kind of allegorical, but the fact that it kind of almost turns into the substance and then doesn't.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
And here's the thing is, you know how the thing people hate the most about Psycho is the final scene with the psychologist where he explains every single little detail about what we already figured out for ourselves?
Yep.
The entire last half hour of Night Bitch is basically the psychologist scene in Psycho.
Yeah, that's also accurate.
Just through Amy Adams' narration. So I thought it had something when it was being really weird. And then that last third is like, oh, you just kind of totally shit the bed with this.
I didn't hate it.
We already got it. Like, we knew why those things were happening. You could have played with it a little more instead of just saying, this is what the first hour meant for half an hour.
To be fair as well, I do like the fact that the last film we got from Marielle before Night Bitch was the most un-Night Bitch thing in the bloody Mr. Rogers biopic.
That's true.
It'd be like somebody took some Adderall way too late and wrote a script.
That occurred to me frequently during Night Bitch. So yeah, I actually do think there's also a world here where Revo could take this.
Oh, for sure.
But I keep coming back. My brain keeps coming back to Mikey Madison, abandoning my heart. So I'm gonna say Mikey Madison takes this.
Yeah, I feel. To me, it's probably between her and Demi. Maybe Zendaya if it's Hollywood Foreign Press feeling crazy. But yeah, I'm also saying I'm saying Madison as well.
It's weird how much Erivo is not really talked about here. I said a lot about Wicked doing really well. Like other movies in the past, with one person doing well and the other one going along for the ride, and then there's somebody that gets completely left in the dust. Yeah, like I said, her movie's coming out next year. So that's going to be where you get your big performance. Plus, she wrote an original song, so that's going to play into it as well.
Well, something that'll probably help her a lot is keep in mind it's kind of all about what you leave the auditorium with.
Yep.
And it's like, Erivo's good through the whole thing. Erivo could have been mediocre through the whole thing. But if she still did Defying Gravity the way she did, that's what people would leave with, and probably she'd still do fine.
I'm still butthurt that I'm going to miss out on the sing-along version because of the fact that I just can't make it work with the award season. There's too much stuff to watch right now.
Then again, I think Universal are being stupid. The fact that it's coming out digital New Year's Eve. Do Universal not remember what happened with Greatest Showman years back? Where it just kept going and going and going, at least in the UK things. It had so much momentum. Same with Les Mis. Same bloody production, company. It just had enough momentum to keep going and going, so they didn't have to push it out digital or on DVD or whatever, because obviously digital wasn't as big as it is now as it was 12 years ago when Les Mis came out. So I just feel that, and what doesn't help, the reason why I don't want Wicked to win anything is when every time they did the press junkets, and when bloody they would praise the actors would react as if they got a bloody damehood from the bloody king, or like or at least for Grande, because she's the wrong country, like the presidential seal of freedom from Obama or something like that. Like dear Lord, if they're that up their own asses now, what the hell's it gonna be when they've got the original content that's showing up in 2? When it's legit, we can praise it because it's stuff that we haven't seen before.
So yeah, I'm not gonna go that route. I'm not going obvious either, because again, I'm just gonna take the L this year. I'm fine with that. I've done it before. Maybe I'll get a chance to make it up in the smaller categories. It's usually what happens. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Demi Moore here. That's the right answer. And the correct answer.
In a pretty strong category, she's the one that deserves it the most.
100%.
There's also, by the way, we never really mentioned her. There's totally a possibility we're underestimating Gascon with all this Millie Perez love.
But like I said before, as much as it gets nominated, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to reflect many wins. Or if with everything, we're all wrong.
That's what I'm saying. There's a possibility we're underestimating it. Yeah. It's hard to say at the moment with this competition.
Speaking of a weird category,
I love this category.
This category is amazing, but there's so many directions you can go here.
I just realised it is weird to think that the only thing that Demi's actually won an award for in her career is the Altman Award for Margin Call. 12 years ago.
That's crazy.
At least of significant stuff. Because I don't think Best Kiss for Indecent Proposal in 94 counts.
Let's go to this really, really good actor in a comedy lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got Jesse Eisenberg for Real Pain, Hugh Grant for Heretic for some reason. I mean, he's great. This movie being comedy is interesting.
It's dark comedy. It's not a Martian Get Out where I feel it's more comedic drama than or what is it, drama? I don't know. Words.
Gabriel LaBelle for Saturday Night, Jesse Plemons for Kinds of Kindness, Glenn Powell for Hitman, and Sebastian Stan for A Different Man. Two of the best performances of the year right there on the end, those two.
Mm-hmm.
Eisenberg any of them would be great choices. Eisenberg is a total possibility, but I've got it narrowed down to Grant and Stan. And I don't know if it's just the double nomination that's in my head, but I think I'm leaning Stan might take this. So I think this.
I would support that.
I feel like it's definitely, if it's not, it's definitely Grant, if not him. I've definitely got that narrowed down in my head.
Okay.
But I would of course be super pleased about Glenn Powell. That still might be like one of my top choices of the year for myself. I'll say Stan. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel LaBelle and Plemons are making up the numbers here, which is a shame. Yeah, any of the four have a chance. I'm sticking with Stan because they're going to give it him for that and then go, oh, we gave it also for you for The Apprentice, honest. It's just we're too scared about if we go to Donald Trump.
Well, it's hard. Globes are still on NBC. And I believe we live in a world where it would be very difficult for me to believe that someone playing Lorne Michaels can't win an award on their station. If politics are real, then that's very possible. Gabriel Bell deserves it anyway.
Gabriel LaBelle should have been showered with trophies for The Fabelman, so I honestly wouldn't be too mad.
I would not be upset with any of these I like Glenn Powell anyway, but I've never saw Hitman, so I can't say anything about his performance there. I love Jesse Plemons in Kind of Kindness. That movie is criminally, underknown. I don't want to call it underrated, but it's underknown. Most people didn't even realize it even happened.
Or keep forgetting.
2 theatrical experiences later, that movie's still stuck in my head. Hugh Grant's definitely possible here. And Sebastian Stan would make sense for winning. It's the right movie, don't get me wrong. Either one of them's their correct answer, but nominating and having, for example, Ashley's way of thinking, having Jeremy Strong win for The Apprentice the same time that Sebastian Stan wins for A Different Man is interesting to me. And I don't think that'd be hard for them to give up. But, I said it before, I'll say it again. He's got 2 up. He's going to go 2 down. I'm going to go with Jesse Eisenberg here.
Yeah.
Because he's got to win something, and I feel this is it. Probably wrong.
Did you not say him for screenplay, too?
I did. That's what I'm saying. He's got to go 2.
Oh,
he's winning screenplay and actor.
2 up, 2 down.
This one should be interesting.
This is very interesting because there's nobody here that's really in contention except for a few names.
Yeah, I almost feel like it could. I'm kind of feeling like Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye when nobody had her pegged. I think it wasn't until SAG, she won SAG, that nobody had Chastain pegged as a winner.
Nope.
And I'm wondering if one of these people is gonna do that or something close to that. And I have my eye on somebody.
I do as well.
We'll see how this goes. We got Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl, Angelina Jolie for Maria, Nicole Kidman for Baby Girl, Tilda Swinton for The Room Next Door, Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here, and Kate Winslet for Lee. Kidman actually seems like the most likely option.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind as well, she won, only 3 years ago for being the Ricardos, beating out Chastain's Tammy Faye.
Heck yeah, she did.
She won the year nobody was there. It was their Twitter thing.
Yeah, you still remember that stream that me and AJ did where we were reacting to a bloody Twitter account, giving us results every time that they were presenting them to nobody.
I was in California during that. I remember that. I never had a chance to check it out, but I've heard things.
Now, don't write what I'm about to say in concrete, because it could totally not be right.
Okay.
I'm just saying what I feel right now, and I was kind of feeling during the movie. You know the thing I was just talking about with Chastain?
Mm-hmm.
Where nobody had her pegged as a winner. People may have, I think at the time people were even saying oh, she's probably the 5th slot. She's the one that's the least there. And then suddenly she wins SAG and she wins the whole thing.
I know where this is headed.
I look at Angelina and I get that vibe.
Wow.
Not really.
That's surprising to me because I have her as my lock.
So I'm thinking I should just go with that gut feeling, because I said the most obvious choice would be Kidman. Maybe Torres, because they've gone with the likes of Huppert and did they go Riva in 2012? I want to say they did.
I think so.
Check.
So going with the non-English choice is totally possible.
Are we talking Globes?
Yeah, it would have been the 2013 show.
Yeah, no. The awards. So yeah, the best of 2012, it was Jessica Chastain winning for Zero Dark 30.
Okay, yeah.
Beating
I
out
forgot that was a
Cotillard,
thing.
Frost and Bone, Mirren for Hitchcock, Naomi Watts for Impossible, and Rachel Weisz for Deep Blue Sea.
That's so Reva came in late. That sounds right. That's really funny that Chastain is what threw me off there since I was just having that conversation. All right. Well, yeah. I'm gonna go with my gut on this Angelina thing. Honestly, a random surprise of Anderson wouldn't be like unthinkable.
I wouldn't be shocked at that.
But I'm just this one time. I'm gonna try out this Angelina thing and see what happens.
All right. I think Ashley said the same. If I read that,
to me it was like it's getting the right amount of buzz. I still like the fact that nobody on Wikipedia can be bothered to put the actual plot up, despite the fact it's been on Netflix for 2 weeks. Is it only going to be until the British get to see it when it shows up, I think? Because that's the interesting thing. Over here, it's actually a Studio Canal thing. So I feel it's going to fall in the same cracks as... Was it Mitchell's versus the Machines that like is Netflix exclusive where you are, but it actually has a home media release so across the rest of the world? I think it's the same. It's the same deal with that. So that's
it actually
help Maria.
It actually got a Blu-ray release here too.
Oh, it actually did. Okay.
I don't know how that happened. I wish it would happen more. It's like where's all the other shit?
Yeah. But yeah, they're pushing the whole, exclusively in cinemas. I think January 10th. Which I might have a chance of seeing with the schedule that I've got and going and everything. But yeah, I just feel that it's it's the most standout performance probably on this list. Because I don't know whether HFPA are going to give Anderson a shot. If they do, I'd be pleasantly surprised. But I feel that because this has been... I was going to say it's one of her passion projects, but she isn't actually producing it. There's some other thing that she's doing, right? That she's producing?
I think she directed something with Damian Bashir, I think.
I was trying to remember.
I can't remember what that was, though.
But yeah, I'm going Mariva Jolie as well.
All right. Well, I do not concur in this circumstance. Torres is certainly likely. Don't forget about Swinton. God, you remember when this Room Next Door thing was like the biggest thing in the world before the movie actually got released, and now people kind of forgot about it? This might be...
I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten the Room Next Door. I'm not leaving it behind.
Well, but a lot of people have. A lot of people have,
though. Yeah, that's true.
So this could be visibility. Weirdly enough, AJ makes the comment and then Ashley completely reverses it, and I was on the Ashley train on this one. I thought Jolie was pretty obvious, but I don't like that,
Well, that certainly makes me feel better about what I said.
But I mean, I guess maybe it's because it's the only one I've seen, but I think the performance is still strong enough that it could win. And I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna go with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Because looking at the list, Jolie is the only one I feel as a lock that would make the 5, along with the people that may or may not have made the list from musical comedy. Kidman I think has a chance to also make it in. Possibly Tilda, but I feel weirdly that actress musical or comedy, which usually is sort of like we need to pad it out to make it to even 5 nominees before they increased it to 6 a few years back.
It's most of the Oscar lineup potentially.
Yeah. Weirdly, this time it's the other way around, in that drama is trying to make up the numbers, I feel.
When you look at the actress in a comedy nominees and the actor in a comedy nominees, comedy kind of crushed it this year.
Yeah.
In regards to what the Globes highlighted.
Sure.
Yeah. I feel on the male front, I think more of a drama people might make it into the Oscar list than musical comedy.
Mm.
But the fact that musical comedy is getting at least some sort of more recognition than drama in one of the two genders, I'd say is a success to show you that people do know how to make musicals and or comedies.
Did we do actor in a drama?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Another one that's probably narrowed down to 2 already. We've got Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Chalamet for Complete Unknown, Daniel Craig for Queer, Colin Domingo for Sing Sing, Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. I'm assuming we've all got it narrowed down to Brody and Chalamet.
Yeah, but it's great that Fiennes is still hanging on.
Yeah. Fiennes is like comfortably third. He's just sitting there, just chill.
To me, again, because it's HFPA, I would not be surprised if they say him. But I
wouldn't be opposed to it.
I also have it between Brody and Chalamet, if I'm honest. But as I say, HFPA do like their British people sometimes randomly for no reason. Even though I don't think it's no reason for race this time.
What makes this difficult is usually when I say we've got it narrowed down to 2, I'm usually already leaning somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm winging this one. I have not decided where I should lean. Because every time I'm getting ready to say Brody, that part clicks in. It's like, oh no, it might be Chalamet. And it just keeps going back and forth. I think Chalamet's really going to have a lot to milk throughout the season with the real singing.
As he deserves to.
Damn. Oh. Okay. I'm going to say, oh, God damn it. Did it again.
He's gonna say.
Every time this happens, I always swear to myself I'm gonna do them beforehand.
At this rate, you're gonna say Common Domingo. You're gonna flip that much. You're just gonna go. I'm gonna go with neither. You flipping so much.
Once again,
Stand twice. It's gonna be stand twice.
Yes, I fully support this. Fully support this.
Oh God. I am going to look at. Last time I flipped a coin on camera, the 2 people I was deciding between didn't even get nominated at the Oscars. So, I'm gonna say. God damn it!
It's not easy.
I'm gonna say. Okay. I'm going to say Chalamet.
Okay.
I said it. I can't take it back now.
Now I know how AJ feels. just because of the fact that I don't think he's even ever won before, I will say Brody. Because I vaguely remember, because wasn't it Oscar's the only thing he won for pianist, right?
I think at least of the big ones, I'm pretty sure, because it was like shocking when it happened.
Because
it was Nicholson and Day-Lewis that took everything else.
Yeah, I was just double checking. Yeah, About Schmidt was the Globe's choice, and then trying to check the other stuff. I'm guessing BAFTA probably was Day-Lewis, right?
That sounds right.
BAFTA was Day-Lewis for Gangs of New York.
Critics' Choice was the tie between Nicholson and Day-Lewis.
Yeah. He didn't. Sorry, I'm just noticing he didn't even win at the Polish Film Awards. To be fair, they went with a Polish actor, so it probably makes sense. So yeah, I will go with Brody because the fact as well that he hasn't been, I think, recognised for, I want to say anything. Let me double check.
That might be true, actually.
Yeah, lost the pianist, lost cast for Midnight in Paris, lost cast for Grand Budapest, and lost for Houdini when it was the Genius History Channel thing, whatever it was. He also hasn't won an Emmy. So basically, it's that Oscar and nothing else. What the fuck?
It's the weirdest trophy room in anyone's house ever.
He has a Caesar Award for pianist, and also I guess a Satellite Award for ensemble for Thin Red Line. That's it, though.
That's almost a slap in the face to him.
Not much else recognition. Oh, sorry, he did get a Spike Video Game Award for Best Cast for King Kong, because for some reason they did his voice for that. Whatever the heck.
All right. So it's interesting because I said The Brutalist is going to do really well at the Globes, and I don't think that is out of the realm of possibility. I feel like it's pretty much not necessarily a certainty because I don't want to speak in absolute, but I mean, yeah, it's probably a good bet. I mean, you'd be making bigger sucker bets like some of the ones I've made tonight and probably will continue to make. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, love Colm Domingo. I mean, Sing Sing didn't do exceedingly well at the Globes, but again, it's the Globes, so we'll see what happens when we get more nomination bodies announced. Fiennes, number 3, happily there. I'm so happy Stan's here. Weirdly enough, the weakest performance is Craig, and I still don't mind him being here versus other people. But yeah, it's going to be a great day for the Brutalist, but not for the literal Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet.
All right, last two.
Yes, and then we can do chat and take this home.
All right, for picture, musical, or comedy, we can actually say that.
Yes.
We have Honora, Challengers, Amelia Perez, A Real Pain, The Substance, and Wicked. I'm gonna word this in the most painful way I can. Are you ready?
Oh God.
3 of my top 5 movies of this year are in this list. One of which is my favorite movie of the year.
Same.
And all three of those movies are going to lose to Honora. So that's that.
Substance.
Oh God, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
God, I hope you're right.
I think a number of times in the streams over the years, I have told Ashley, "Don't get my hopes up like that." That would be fantastic.
Well, I'm with you.
Again, it's partly not what I think is going to do well for the rest of the season. I'm also trying to just think Hollywood Foreign Press Association. How are they going to try and be wacky and different and try and influence the? If somehow it happens and this carries through, I'm not saying it will probably win Best Picture, but if it can sort of get other comedy. Right, to be fair, I guess the only comedy musical category left is Critics the week after, right?
Let's just check the boxes. Every single governing body, all the guilds go for the substance, one way, shape, or form. Let's make this happen. Come on. If you have a vote and you're watching this show, the substance
We're not trying to influence you, Hollywood Foreign Press Association. We know there's only like 120 or something of you. But you have until January the 1st to submit your votes. So vote for Wallace and Gromit, you coward.
Good God.
Here's the thing about the substance also is, even though it feels super out there and weird and pretty disgusting at times, I still don't think I've heard of anybody disliking the substance. So most people seem to be passionate, unless I just hang out in the right circles. I don't know, but I feel like the substance will be one of those winners that doesn't really have backlash. Which is really funny because the last time I was saying this was Parasite.
Yeah. Keep in mind this is the same body that gave the Borat sequel Best Comedy / Musical over Hamilton. To be fair, they also had music in there, which was What Are They Smoking? And The Prom, so literally What Are They Smoking? I finally got a DVD copy of Palm Springs. Holy shit. But yeah, I mean, technically, Golden Globe started the momentum for Green Book, and its inevitable Best Picture thing. And then, of course, the debacle with The Martian back in the day.
So Ashley is trying to get me and AJ's hopes up.
Vicky Cristina Barcelona somehow beat In Bruges.
Yeah, don't remind us.
It's an inanimate fucking object.
Okay. Based on everything I said so far, it would make sense I would say A Real Pain here. I can't. This easily could be Amelia Perez. Because we're not talking about that even as an option, but it could happen. Be nice to have challengers even in the conversation.
I'm honestly just like challengers is here at all, because that kind of surprised me.
The substance is the right answer, and there is literally zero competition. But I said it before, and I'll say it again, this is going to be what gets the GP's hopes up. And everybody that thinks they know what they're talking about, that doesn't know anything, is going to immediately bet the farm that Wicked is going to win Best Picture when it wins Best Music or Comedy.
He's defying gravity, everybody. He's defying gravity.
That's not a bad guess.
Nah, I don't think so either.
Honestly, because I doubt it'd do the double. But if Wicked doesn't get cinematic achievement and goes to something else, then it does look like Wicked wins musical comedy.
I think it's a double. There's nothing else that really is in competition that I can see.
Yeah.
All right. Are we on our last one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we go into chat.
For drama, we've got The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune, Nickel Boys, and September 5.
Hell yeah, I'm so happy that's there.
I suppose it's somewhat realistic. It could be Conclave, but I'm just like immediately saying like the Brutalist. Like I'm hardly even thinking about it and just going straight to the Brutalist. So I should probably run with that, that feeling.
That's fair. Ashley?
I think this is our Parasite moment. I'm going Conclave.
God, I'd love that.
There's
But
so many good performances in that it just feels like it's the ensemble deal.
It's definitely SAG Ensemble for sure. It's definitely getting nominated for SAG Ensemble.
Mm-hmm.
And it deserves to. That being said, I remember, and I'm sure anybody that's following along, for Brian, Spencer, Josie, anybody that's listening to the sound of my voice right now remembers that I used to say that the best drama globe would kill its chance at the Oscar. And that has been correct some of the time, but not always.
It used to be a lot more of a thing than it has been lately.
Correct. So if I would go ahead and say The Brutalist won Best Drama, it's not winning the Oscar. But if that's the case, then what's winning the Oscar is not what should win the Oscar, and then I'll be more angry, and I don't want to deal with that crap this season either. And I know I'm going to have to. So you know what? The Brutalist for the win.
Of course, the Globes were shitty back in the day, when arguably in 2019 it probably would have beaten 1917 to Best Drama. I think it was that year, right?
Yeah, because it feels like it was because 1917 was going to win, and then I feel like SAG was where the shift was because 1917 even got PGA.
Yep, I was very upset that season.
Yeah, because Nomadland carried through, but Tower of the Dog didn't, Fabelmans didn't, Oppenheimer did. Of course it did.
It was Juggernaut, though. Deservingly so.
You know, they foresaw it with Argo as well, to some extent.
I forgot the Fabelmans had a good Globe night. That was really nice.
Yeah. I mean, it beat Avatar. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
I just really, the Fabelmans is the anti-Anora. Like the Fabelmans just makes me so happy and warm inside and good, makes me feel good about what I want to do.
Yeah.
I adore that movie so much. The whole thing.
I'm just double checking if to see. Okay, I'm already looking ahead to next Christmas, and I'm noticing. Oh, Safdie's film is coming out Christmas Day. I guess I need to put that in my Oscar predictions for 12 months' time. Well, I guess 8 months or whatever.
Who knows anymore?
When we get to August.
We gotta get through this show first.
The one thing I want to get, because then also it's getting it round, getting round the baker in the room. Bryce says, AJ, if you met him in person, would you do the Will Smith slap on him and say, "Keep my scripts out your fucking hands"?
This is why we love you, Brian.
It's like me and the jailbird himself, good old Harvey. It's the same circumstance that has kind of like, I don't know if AJ would go that route, but me randomly walking up to Harvey Weinstein and just straight kicking him right in the nuts would make me feel so much better because he literally cost us Scream at Halloween Horror Nights, and I will hate him forever because of it.
I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of other reasons to kick that dude in the balls if we're talking about Weinstein.
Personal reason, though, would be that. But yeah, you are correct.
Spencer also says, I've been watching 1936 movies to celebrate Walter Houston and William Powell. What a year for those two. Gene Arthur's so great. I realise whether I like Gary Cooper in a movie depends on his female co-star being able to carry him. See Mr. Deeds. goes to town.
Dude, right? Gary Cooper had no fucking charisma.
Thoughts on Paulette Goddard in that in relation to that?
Yes. I'm so thrilled. You know the meme from Always Sunny when Charlie and Max see each other from across the restaurant? That's how I feel when somebody else hates Gary Cooper.
Same way I feel about John Wayne.
Well, not hate for Gary Cooper, but he wasn't that big of a deal. Acting wise. He really wasn't.
Spencer says, I struggled with Baby Girl and Nickel Boys. Sorry, Ashley. Well, at least you've fucking seen them. I can dream of that.
I have
I've
no
got to
way of
wait
seeing
weeks
Nickel
for that
Boys,
or shit.
but I will say watching it with a full theater, basically getting the Magic Mike experience watching Baby Girl was interesting.
Having flashbacks to that for sure. The power stayed on this time though. The power stayed on, so that's good.
Yes, it did.
I really enjoyed A Complete Unknown. Timmy just oozes cool.
Hell yes.
I guess back to Baby Girl though. I do think Harris Dickinson has a bright future, and we need to appreciate the work Kidman does for the industry and the amount of projects that she's doing on TV and film.
That's insane. She's in so much TV. I don't even remember the last few things she was in TV related, but I just know they exist.
Hang on, I'm gonna.
Nope.
No, she's got a discography? What the fuck? I don't remember her doing albums, but okay.
She is.
I know
15,
she did the Robbie Williams thing.
Come on. Moulin Rouge, Australia.
Oh, she's doing another Liam Moriarty production, The Last Anniversary. And then... Oh, she's doing a Kay Scarpetta series for Amazon Prime. Along with Jamie Lee Curtis and Ariana DeBose. Oh, and Bobby Cannavale. Wow, it's fucked. How the hell does he still get job? All I see him on now is fucking... What are those fucking pizza commercials? Papa John's?
Yeah.
He can do Amazon series like that, and then he's on a Papa John's commercial. What the shit? I shouldn't say that. I've seen Samuel L. Jackson and Robert De Niro doing Warburton's bread commercials. Fucking hell. I think Margaret Qualley could win the Globe.
God, I'd love.
I'm predicting Wicked follows Barbie's path and gets one Oscar for either Ariana or production design. Watch out for September 5, such a sneaky little amazing film.
Yeah, it is. That movie's fantastic. And it sucks that most people I know haven't seen it. But I can't really talk about it with many. Even though I reviewed it on here. Actually, you want to hear my actual reviews? I mean, I can actually do them now. I'm not like trying to fill time or anything. I can do it live, like here.
Speaking of that, Kneecap Slaps. Love that film.
Yeah, it
deserves best original song.
Irish TV4 for the win. Let's go.
I think Amy Adams' Night Bitch is an underrated gem.
Yeah.
Dodsworth is a story that could be made today.
Again, any movie that just Amy Adams and her kid just bombing around to dare to be stupid.
I need to Barry Horowitz this. I need to Barry Horowitz this from Spencer. I really think you three are the best awards people and movie people out there because I feel for your love for films and movies. I try to listen to The Next Best Picture and hate Dan Bayer and some of the hosts that they demean the audience, and you guys are so kind and warm.
We try. Thank you.
I'm always afraid I don't come off that way. I hope I do. So I'm always really happy about, especially from Spencer. The reassurance helps a lot. So, and it's very appreciated.
I just think I sound like an idiot half the time. So I don't know what I'm talking about. So I mean, thank you for saying that I don't. So
look back and Ultraman Rising is so good. That's what caught me off guard. Partially, while the soapbox moment was happening, when I noticed that at the Annies, you've got your usual contenders like Inside Out 2. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, I only just noticed this. I know the This will be the only reactions we do to the animated feature Annie announcements. So you got Wild Robot and Wallace and Gromit and Inside Out 2. They stuck in Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah.
They stuck in Netflix's That Christmas. They ignored Moana 2, and they put in Ultraman Rising. That says a lot, I think. If even the animated industry is like, fuck Moana.
It's not a great movie. I'll put it that way.
It's putting the butts in seats, though, from what I saw from the box office figures for the past weekend. That and Mufasa and Sonic to some extent, amazingly. Same with Chicken for Linda.
Sonic's amazing, and I don't give a damn. I'll defend it.
I'm guessing Chicken for Linda is a film and not just something that somebody ordered at KFC at the window.
Ooh, that sounds good right now. I don't get KFC till Wednesday. Technically, no. I have KFC in the fridge right now. I can eat it before the show tomorrow. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's go.
I wonder what
Isaac, you're not watching that, but that was for you.
I wonder what Mickey Madison's next project will be.
Hopefully something with a reputable director.
She's got a great lineup so far. Tarantino to a Scream movie to an Oscar nomination potential win. I mean, good for her.
I'm trying to see.
I still am upset she's going to steal Demi Moore's Oscar, though.
Whether she has anything lined up on IMDb or whether she's letting all the... I think she's letting all the award stuff
more energy
roll by. Oh, she was in Lady in the Lake. I guess obviously in supporting role because I just see Natalie Portman's face.
She was on Pamela Adlon's show too. That's title I can't remember at the moment.
I also think Nicholas Hoult and Clint Eastwood are a great team. Juror Number 2 is the best film of the year. Toni Collette should be winning easily.
Juror Number 2 is fantastic. I really dug the movie a lot, and I'm very glad I actually got to see it in a theater because I know it sounds like not many people got to because of the way the weird release schedule was. I mean, it wasn't kill shot or anything like that, but then again, nothing is. But I will say right now that, yeah, I agree. Nicholas Hoult has had a fantastic year, though, and he works really well with Eastwood.
You know what great skill Nicholas Hoult has specifically, I've noticed? At least in a couple of movies. I'm sure it's in more. His ability to do, like... He can play one character and in the same performance do a turn where it suddenly feels like he's playing a totally different character. But in a way that fits. In a way that makes the character, like, ambiguous. Is something that he's... ambiguous or unpredictable, depending on what the role calls for. I think he's really good at stuff like that. 2 performances immediately come to mind, but I feel like it might be too spoilery to say them.
I mean, we already had... I don't know if it was Spencer or whatever acknowledge his performance and how it twists with Mad Max.
Yeah, that would be one for sure.
I'm trying to think as well. Even in terms of, like, not spoilery stuff, I feel even in something as simple as bloody Warm Bodies.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
He's great. It's starting to get a lot more, like, visibility now that his career's taking off. A lot of people are like, you ever seen Warm Bodies? Like, yeah, the movie's great. I mean, I don't know.
I always have to address when exactly I became a big fan. Of course, there was About a Boy, and then I remember when A Single Man came out, and I learned after the fact, like, that was the kid from About a Boy. That's crazy. But it was The Favorite, where I was like, I love this guy.
I love The Favorite. That's not a me movie at all, like, in any world, but I dug that movie so much.
And I love that we never see him outside of the wig and makeup.
Yep.
and he's always like that character is like always up to 11, but he's never like, I was gonna say he's never obnoxious. He's supposed to be obnoxious, but
That's his character.
but the whole performance is entertaining and amazing, and I love that so much. He should play more villains, is what that tells me too.
Also fair.
I mean, and you also have like the menu where it's, I don't know if you'd call him a villain per se, but I still stand by he's the craziest character in that movie, low key.
For sure.
After AJ's moment earlier, I'm concerned by this comment from Spencer. Thoughts on Jack Audiard as a director? I don't trust this man.
I was at a Goodwill a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's out of print now. It's a DVD copy of The Beat That My Heart Skipped, which I actually haven't watched yet. So I've been trying to get more into him because he did, was it A Prophet? He did also in 2009.
Yeah,
That sounds right.
and the Sisters Brothers.
Yeah. See, he's still a bit of a question mark to me because the Sisters Brothers was something where I was like, I didn't really know how to take it at the time. I think there's a review on this channel that I did of it, but I couldn't tell you what I said then. But I'm interested in kind of going down a rabbit hole of him now that he's gone. But I mean, you know, people who know movies like know who he is, but he's kind of more high profile than he's ever been after Amelia Perez. To kind of go back and revisit his filmography would be really interesting.
Yeah, because I remember
that's my
hearing
very
a lot of
roundabout
good
way of saying I don't have a strong opinion yet.
I remember hearing a lot of good things as well about Deepan and Rust and Bone as well.
I forgot Rust and Bone is his too.
Because I want to say Sisters Brothers was like one of his first Western things, arguably. Because I think everything else was, I want to say French language.
That sounds like Rust and Bone's one of those things where I only really remember Cotillard's performance standing out. Like it's one of those cases where I almost felt like the whole movie existed just so that one performance could exist. Like one of those, but again, I'd like to kind of just revisit everything and see. That's interesting that he's apparently untrustworthy to this person.
Spencer doesn't trust him. I think Clint and Ron Howard are directors that sometimes just make fun movies.
Yeah.
That sounds very true.
Oh, interesting. So, Spencer asks you, Owen, are there any shorts that you're looking forward to?
Spencer, I'll shoot with you. I've looked at the list, and I'm looking at the short list right now. Nothing really jumps out at me. Just give me something that's fun, not depressing, that I can actually root for, that may actually have a chance to win. Some of those documentary shorts I have to watch in the theater that I most likely will be watching The Brutalist in 2 weeks. There's some heavy stuff, and sometimes like the best animated shorts usually my favorite category. Sometimes it's too much.
We've talked a lot about how the animated shorts used to have a lot more comedies in them.
A lot more fun.
Yeah.
This way up.
Yeah.
No drama. There's so many great ones.
Or stuff that's really inspired, like Fresh Guacamole.
Fresh Guacamole is fine, yeah.
I just saw the bear named Wotek is the true story of a Syrian brown bear during World War II. So it's like Warhorse, except War Bear, I guess.
It was like a bear with a gun or something? Is that what the deal is? I want to see a bear hold a gun. Let's go.
Oh, first broadcast on the BBC back in May. I guess I might have to watch that then if it's still available.
Makes me want to watch Cocaine Bear again.
Although let's hope that there's also an animated short with lion and or a tiger, so then we can do the lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my!
Dear God.
Spencer asked the Owen's opinion on Nosferatu, which we already got.
I gave that at the very beginning of the show, Spencer.
Josie said,
Not a very favorable opinion.
Josie's caught it today and describes it as a, quote, dark, sexy ride.
So Josie, here's the thing. Internet was trying to tell me when I went into it, and AJ, you can allude to this as well because you've seen it now. I was told, this is a quote, this isn't me saying it, this is what everybody's saying, it's one of the horniest movies ever. And I didn't get that at all. I see somewhat where they're coming from, but I guess I was expecting more.
The fact that Eggers gave Skarsgård the prosthetic dick for him to keep after the production.
That picture has come across my Twitter feed way too many times this past week, and I do not like it any time it happens.
Did you see Nosferatu before or after Baby Girl?
I saw Nosferatu before Baby Girl. So, like, let's watch Bob Dylan, and it's sexy time. Literally, it's like Bob Dylan. I got my donuts. I got my free donuts. Thank you, AMC, like, investor collect. I appreciate you. Free donuts. And then I watched Nosferatu, and then I slinked into Baby Girl and watched it with a bunch of ladies.
But when he sang Lay Lady Lay, he didn't mean that. God damn it. Spencer says, I didn't like Bodies, which is probably why I didn't like the direction of Baby Girl.
I didn't either, Spencer, but I really dug Baby Girl. I mean, it's not one of my favorite movies of the year or anything, but I dug it for what it was.
I really feel like sometimes I'm on an island with some critics in my love for Bodies, but like I said, I've rewatched it at least 2 or 3 times since I made it a top 10 movie of that year, and I still stand by that. Like usually,
that's fair.
If enough people dislike something, it kind of gets in your head, and you kind of maybe start to look for or see flaws involuntarily, and then it'll happen. It's like, oh, I guess I don't enjoy this as much. That never happened to Bodies.
Hasn't happened to a lot of movies I liked either throughout the years.
Although the character of Nosferatu is meant to represent evil, at least on paper, part of me prefers Ellen Hutter with Nosferatu himself over her own husband. I know that's sick. Then again, is that, more acknowledgement of the genius of Nicholas Hoult. I really
watch Rings. All I have to say to you.
I really loved Fury from 1936 with a mob mentality.
Yeah.
Joe says, I just finished reading a collection of crisp short stories called A Midnight Clear by Catherine Patterson. Spencer, back to the 36. Carol Lombard was such a comedic genius.
Yeah, she's just such a tragic story. It's kind of hard. It's kind of sucks that like has a dark cloud over what her actual work was.
I wonder if the Globes would ever split up screenplays. Have you seen how they can't fit it into 3 hours as it is?
No, why?
Oh no, but we really needed a stand-up category and a cinematic achievement category.
We need a stand-up category in the 80s and 90s, not now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine stand-up winners for like George Carlin and Andrew Dice Clay and Lenny Bruce and God, it'd been great. Robin Williams, so many great names that could have won stand-up categories in the 80s and 90s.
It's wild to me you haven't said Eddie Murphy yet.
Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy.
Bry's last Oscar movies of the 2000s since last Popcast are Serious Man, Joyeux Noel, I'm Not There, Ali, Walk the Line, Maria Full of Grace, Juno, The Caller, and today Bry saw Revanche.
That's a strong list there.
Yeah.
Josie, new watches since last time. Oh, one of these is disappointing. Because I wanted this to be a fucking movie club film. We have Female Trouble, Day of the Beast, Yesterday Once More, Bedazzled, the original one, Red Angel and Jour de Fête. You can probably tell which one I was passionate about because I might have pointed at the camera. Spencer says, I really hate that January and February exist. I mean, I get that, but then at the same time, you wouldn't get us talking for 27 hours if January and February didn't exist.
I mean, you're seeing the product of me being awake for way too long right now, so which is something you don't normally see with me. And I'm a lot more alert on this show than I have been in a minute because I actually paid attention, did notes and everything. Tomorrow should be a really interesting show because I get to like really contradict everything I said today, so that'll be super fun.
Spencer says, I think my favourite 36 film was Modern Times, with Dodsworth and my man Godfrey being second and third.
I remember how hard I laughed because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning on Turner Classic Movies, and I had never seen a Chaplin movie, and that first 10 or 15 minutes of Modern Times is like incredible.
For Christmas, my brother got me Ace's Story, 2 volumes of Japanese light novels about Monkey D. Luffy's brother Ace. The lore continues. God love it.
More One Piece. Because you need to get yourself to California. Universal Hollywood is actually doing some things involving various fandoms, and that's one of the things.
So Bry's list for... Was There Will Be Blood 2011?
2007.
So, yeah.
Bry's best picture ranking is Clayton at 5, No Country for Old Men at 4, Atonement at 3, Juno at 2, and There Will Be Blood at number 1. Adding it a weak picture lineup, honestly.
I've never heard that about 2007.
I like every single movie on that list. I do like every single movie on that list.
Juno and There Will Be Blood are fine. They have a couple of good moments and performances. It's just those 5 films I would not get on Blu-ray.
I'm actually quite... I haven't gotten that new No Country Criterion that's out yet, but I absolutely plan to.
Josie says Paulie Bleeker and Juno McGuff have always been relationship goals for me.
Yes, absolutely.
Always.
Spencer says, I wonder if Culkin's being overestimated. Ooh.
I hope not.
That would suck.
I listened to an interview with the composer of Nosferatu, and he seems pretty cool. Catherine O'Hara should be in the conversation for Beetlejuice.
That's interesting.
Josie says, fun fact, Robert Eggers' wife is a psychologist. They are hot together. And also saying that Hemsworth should be in conversation for Furiosa.
I don't know about in contention, but he's very fun in Furiosa.
Yeah. Spencer says Eggers should make a movie about Patrick the Star.
No.
So I'm getting annoying rustling in the fucking roof, and I'm trying to work out what the fuck it is. Furiosa should be leading the tech shortlist noms. What the fuck is that?
This is real life where Ashley is about to confront a giant squirrel. He's about to find this out.
We better not be in one of those laptop perspective horror movies right now.
Well, on my vantage point, he's never had a screen. It's just basically his yellowness staring at me. This will not be a Laura Barnes situation. Do not worry.
It'd be amazing if he adapted a Chris Van Allsburg picture book. I think that would work with his sensibilities. I guess that's Eggers. AJ, do you have any Van Allsburg books?
He's the Jumanji Zathura author, right?
I think so.
Mm.
Let me double check.
I think as a
Oh, Polar Express as well.
kid, I got yes. I think I got a copy of Jumanji from the library when I was a kid, and I didn't take it back for like 2 months. So I kind of had one once. That's probably the closest I can get.
I feel negative this year as I hate Wicked and Gladiator.
I
like both of those movies,
yeah, I was
so
gonna say, I'm fine with both of them, but I'm especially like it's kind of surprising to me how okay I am with Gladiator as a whole. Like obviously I'm like fanboying about Denzel like I always am, but
sure.
the whole movie was just a really fun time to me. I think it's the whole thing of the original movie being iconic. So it does have like nobody's expecting it to be the first movie, but they still want it to live up in some way, and it's just really not that. It's just kind of its own fun thing that's not very prestigious.
I kind of agree with the reviews that the only thing I remember about that film is Denzel. Everything else is just sort of there. Nothing else really matters.
I liked what Quinn and Heckinger were a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure.
Spencer says, I hope I love the Brutalist. Josie's excited for it as well. Spencer says, I hate musicals most of the time except for In the Hype.
That's not an exception I would have guessed.
Spencer says, I think Tarantino would want more feet shots in Baby Girl.
Yeah, clearly.
The Footman. Josie says, my faves of the year until I cross a few off on my list are Anora, sorry AJ, Chicken for Linda, Conclave, Flow, Furiosa, Hundreds of Beavers, yes, Hitman, La Chimera, A Real Pain, Memoir of a Snail, Small Things Like These, and Touch.
I like the Hitman shout out. That's good.
I liked a few of those.
And Spencer says, my favourites are Juror Number 2, Anora, The Homie, Look Back, Substance, Chicken for Linda, Challengers, Dune 2, and of course Pacific Heights. I'm not adding that in. That is legit what's written there. Josie said, I forgot to add Juror Number 2 and The Substance. Love those two.
When hold on.
Ooh.
When anyone says Anora, am I supposed to say thank you?
Ooh. Thanks to Bry, we actually have important Bracken news regarding the shortlists. I want to see why. Robbie Williams will not be getting an Oscar. Apparently, Forbidden Road got disqualified.
Yeah, I heard about that. I completely forgot about it though, but I did remember like somebody saying something. I didn't really look into it though.
Let me have a snooze.
No.
Let me have a nose. Well, let me get the thing up. Josie doing some Anora stuff. Marty Supreme is the most anticipated for me. Oh, good. I brought it up and people are acknowledging it. Has anybody seen the Lord of the Rings animated, the War of the Rohirrim?
That trailer looks so god awful. I have no interest in ever watching it.
I haven't, but I did hear it's going to streaming like very soon, right? It was like a very, very, very small window.
It's actually still in my theater right now, but it's about to leave.
Let me get. I feel it was best summed up by some UK review account that's called Beer Mat Movies, which is basically they write the review on the beer mat. So I'm trying to get what they said because I think it kind of fits. This reminds me of Chronicles of Riddick: Dark Fury. Both add slight depth, both are animated well, and both went straight to DVD. Except only one did. It's just so unnecessary and dilutes the legacy of the gold standard of the adaptations. Wait for the stream and be drunk. It's kind of sums it up relatively accurately. So apparently, because Forbidden Road incorporates material from an existing song that wasn't written for the film. Oh, so the song in question is "I Got a Name," which was the theme for The Last American Hero back in 1973. Which is also notable because the person that wrote that song is one of the 3 governors for the Academy's music branch as well.
Oh.
So it's even more fucked. Holy shit.
Talk about knowing how to read the room.
This is going to sound awful, but I hope Chalamet and Kylie Jenner break up. The Jenners and the Kardashians are so fake. Now are you only realizing this? My God.
My first question to that is they haven't already.
Any New Year's film traditions? I watch The Burning and Bloody Birthday, says Spencer.
I think I usually not tradition, not really. I usually end up watching something, but not really anything particularly like specific.
I remember we used to watch stuff back in the
Weirdly,
day.
the thing I want to do is watch Boogie Nights up until Happy New Year happens. And then before it cuts to 1984, I stop the movie and then that's where it ends.
You let the brains of William H. Macy welcome you to the next year.
Yeah. I watched John Woo's Better Tomorrow for New Year's last year, and I think I'll do the same this year. I can't wait for Marty Supreme. Sight unseen, who would win in a ping pong fight? Bob Dylan or Marty Supreme? Owen.
I don't know anything about the Marty Supreme character yet.
I think he's literally like a professional ping pong player, so wouldn't you say probably?
I mean, Bob Dylan just straight up give up after a while because he doesn't have time to waste on these things.
I mean, I obviously know that means in 12 months' time we're going to get a question of who's better at ping pong, Forrest Gump or
Marty Supreme.
or Marty Cooper.
Marty Skrull? Can't say
Oh no,
that name anymore. Anyway.
I said ping pong balls, not King Kong's balls. Imagine a ping pong fight between Nosferatu and Art the Clown.
I mean,
Would they use their dicks as
I don't
bats?
know.
What the fuck?
damn, I don't really care.
I don't know if Orlok is built well for like coordination like that.
No, I don't like it.
Hot take: as much as I think it's as a masterpiece as the original Nosferatu is, I think that 1932's Vampire is a superior film.
Herzog's version tops like all of them, in my opinion.
In Nosferatu, the disease is the cure. It changed my life, a substance. I think Timmy T makes everyone cool he's with, Spencer says. Wolf is more attractive as a human. I prefer Orlok and Ellen together than Helen and her husband. There is a sexiness that succubing.
Take a shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
What? I lost that.
Chalamet's statistics video deserves an Oscar. What, when he was going through the stats for fucking college football? Okay.
What the hell?
When I hear and see the title Better Man, I of course can't think of. I just think of the Pearl Jam song. Any idea who the random SAG nomination will be? Lol, Anne Hathaway, the idea of you. Just kidding.
Oh.
Everything I would say right now would be something that is obvious to us, at least.
I mean, if we're going like they don't get any other nomination, maybe something like hold on, I gotta look up his name again. Drew Starkey almost seems like one of those. Where it's somebody that's attached to a movie that might show up or probably would show up.
I know,
and usually in the supporting categories.
I know it made it into Spirits, but I honestly think if there's justice in the world, Adam Pearson just gets in supporting actor from out of nowhere.
I'm surprised he's not in it more already.
At SAG.
I mean,
the man was just on University Challenge. I don't know whether he did well, but he's like. Josie mentioned about the Lithium Channel's been playing the top 50 of the year. Number 12 was Lightning Crashes by Live. Or is it Live? I don't know.
That's Live.
Oh, Spencer singling out the funniest video review I've seen will always be Planes, Fire and Rescue. Owen was hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot that was a film.
No, we didn't.
Until somebody brings that up, I forget. Because that was a sequel, right? There was like one that was just Planes, and then there was that one. I think that's how it went.
Yep. And Fire and Rescue was the one we just happened to get in the theater.
I still think they missed out on not doing trains, because then you could have legit had a Planes, Trains and Automobiles. Bloody joke. But Thomas did it first. Life's Been Good by Joe Walsh is on the radio today. Great song. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness is one of the best albums of all time. Next year will be the 30th anniversary. As well as the 30th anniversary of Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette. Well, isn't that ironic?
God herself.
Ooh.
Now a Broadway play.
Most boring films of the year. Mufasa. I'm sorry, Barry, but it's still the case of why do we need photorealistic Simba and Mufasa? For the love of fuck.
I mean, it's not the most boring movie of the year, but I wasn't entertained.
I have a list of everything I saw that's 2024. I feel like I have an answer for this if I'm just get a reminder. Because that's the thing is, if a movie is that boring, you're going to forget you even saw it. So I got to remind myself.
Hold on. I can actually come up with a list. Give me a minute. Let me check my AMC profile. That'll probably be helpful.
Oh. Oh, I know there's something on the tip of my tongue that I can't remember. I mean, The Strangers Chapter 1 might come to mind.
Oh, God, that movie was trash. The Watchers was bad.
I didn't think The Watchers was all bad.
I did. Mufasa. Hold on, let's go. Gotta find the right dates. Past year. Here we go. That'll work.
I want to say Argyle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I didn't mind.
Keep in mind, it wasn't the question wasn't the worst. It was boring. It was just like, considering what it had for it, the fact that it went so like run of the mill unexpected. In that respect, Trap's got to be a close second.
Oh, I like Trap a lot. I'll defend that movie.
Because, again, I just feel that Shyamalan's going back to stupid fucking twists that make no sense.
I thought it was fun.
You know, I think I have two more answers. I just lost what the first one was. But the one I would probably throw in there is oh my god, I may have lost both I was just about to say. Oh god. This is we've gone on way too long, by the way. I'm starting to panic.
We're almost in the 3.5 hour mark right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to say this will probably be controversial. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire might be one for me.
There's a fair few people that felt it was disappointing, to be fair.
And until like maybe until like the first hour 15, I was really not into Between the Temples.
It took a minute to get started. I'll give you that.
God, I forgot about Back to Black.
Oh yeah.
The Winehouse biopic. Yeah, that's another one that goes in the that came out this year.
I'm looking at all the list of everything I watched this year, and I'm like,
I did not see Back to Black, but just thinking about its existence, I'm already bored with it, so I can get behind you on that.
I mean, technically, I can say The Zone of Interest because I watched it in January.
As I said, it's one thing that Amy exists as a documentary, a shattering documentary at that.
I actually have an answer to this. You know what movie I actually was really bored with? I couldn't get into One Love at all.
Not the Marley one.
The Marley
I was
one.
not getting into One Love at all. I tried so hard.
The shockingly high-grossing Bob Marley biopic. It was in like the top 10 box office of the year for a long time. That was really random. It felt like.
I'm guessing probably because of international.
Probably.
Josie says 20 of my favourite first-time watches for the second half of the year. Alias Jesse James, Beloved, The Bed Sitting Room, Cannibal the Musical, Count of Monte Cristo, the 2002 version, An Empty Dream, The Enchanted Shadow, Hot Lead and Cold Feet, Needful Things, The People Under the Stairs, The President's Analyst, Prince of Broadway, Spider Baby, Strange Days, Tango and Cash, A Town Called Panic, Welcome or No Trespassing, Western Soda, Vanilla Sky, and Zoo, Warriors from the Magic Mountain.
I love Vanilla Sky so much. That video with Open Your Eyes is one of the most popular videos we've ever done on this channel when it comes to verses, and I can't explain why.
And it always has to be said that Cannibal the Musical has the more entertaining Let's Build a Snowman song than Frozen does.
Completely accurate.
Yeah. I mean, Joe says, which have you seen and what are your favourites? I mean, Bed Sitting Room's really good. President Analyst, I've actually only found somewhat recently, and that's just... It's like the unofficial Flint frequel. I mean, I guess there was a third one, but I'm talking when it's bloody Coburn, actually. And then, of course, Strange Days, which apparently is enamoured by Francis Ford Coppola. Or whatever that Criterion Closet video well, the fact that we had that. What was the other video we had for Christmas? Fucking Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith in the Criterion Closet.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because he did a show in 2012 called Spoilers, where he would take like regular people to the movies with him, and then they would review the movie afterwards.
So good. I love it.
He had a segment on that show called the Criterion Corner, where he talked about Criterion movies.
Yep.
And the Criterion movies he talked about in that segment versus the ones he talked about when he was in the closet could not have been more different. That him doing the Criterion Corner on Spoilers is how I learned about Man Bites Dog.
Yep. Same here.
And Night on Earth he did with that also. And that's like not even close to the directions he went in the closet.
Walking with Brando, I think woman makeup Spencer. Imagine if Stallone and Kurt Russell host the Oscars as Tango and Cash. What, in character for the entire thing? Okay.
I thought they were building to that at one point for one of the award ceremonies when Creed was the thing.
Who's won the most years of the prediction game?
It's got to be AJ or Ashley.
AJ?
AJ makes most sense.
Owen may have won.
I think I may have one victory.
Won or tied one of the years as well.
I've won one, damn it. Only one. I will win again, but it won't be this year.
AJ, do you like Beavis and Butthead?
I love the show. I love both movies. That second movie was so shockingly good and hilarious.
Still haven't been that video yet.
And I know Do America by heart, I think. And the revamped show in 2011, I think it was amazing. And when they rebooted it for Paramount Plus, I didn't see all of the Paramount Plus one, but what I saw was he's never lost his stride with Beavis and Butthead ever.
Yeah.
I don't think Beavis and Butthead ever had a dip. And he's brought it back twice, and both times he succeeded, and made that other movie. I have nothing but praise for Beavis and Butthead.
As Josie says, imagine them commentating on Chalamet singing in a complete unknown.
I loved that too with the reboot ones, the 2011 one and this one, where they transitioned from not just music videos but also reality TV.
Yeah.
I love what they did with that too. That's one of those ones where you would think like, oh no, stick to music videos, but it actually transitioned really well.
I want Glenn Powell and Alana Haim to date or star in a rom-com together. Says Josie. I mean, date, I don't know whether, is there much of an age difference?
I was just thinking that. I feel like he's a lot older, but I guess I don't know.
Then again, I'm trying to remember what the age difference was with him and Sweeney for fucking Anything But You. Wait, was that this year?
I will stay.
Was Anything But You this year? It
was last year.
Okay.
Was it even last year? I feel like it was a couple of years ago.
I mean, I put it over in my honorable mentions for movies of the year.
Maybe it was just last year. It was at the end of last year or the year before, I think.
Oh yeah, Over Here it came out January 2024, but it came out for you guys December 22nd. So.
Fun fact.
That's why I'm thinking about it, because Over Here it was a January release, I think.
There is a literal 3-year age difference.
Wow, that's it.
Yep.
They actually fit. It works. Who would win in a drinking game? Art the Clown, Nosferatu, or Mr. Melancholy? He's back.
It's very clear if you watch Terrifier 3 that Art doesn't like alcohol, so at all. So that's not going to happen.
I mean, Orlok's undead, so he probably can't be that affected by it.
And
Probably has been
melancholy's that
drinking
off his
for
tits that
centuries.
he'd just drink and drink and drink and drink to infinity.
He's been drinking blood for centuries, so it makes sense.
We still haven't figured out like
What the hell, Mr. Melancholy? Who is his daddy and what does he do? I mean, seriously. We can't go down this rabbit hole. We're almost 4 hours into the show.
yeah, are we? I think we're
Yeah, I've only got a little bit to go. Thank fuck. Thoughts on Peter Cook and Dudley Moore? Underrated. Bedazzled is really fucking good. Derek and Clive is dirty as fuck, but some of the writing in that is actually pretty damn clever. The only thing I would say is a miss, although I don't know how much... That weird fucking Sherlock thing that they did, where Peter Cook basically played Sherlock as a Jewish person. Even with like the stereotypical Jewish voice, it was like, okay. That might be one of the very few missteps that they made, to be fair.
I don't have a lot of experience with Cook. I could never get into Moore. He was just never my thing. Like even something like Arthur, I just never took to him for some reason.
But yeah, Bedazzled is really good. I honestly, I think it's better than what Hollywood did to it. Because it's sort of... Because blatantly Hollywood did it where it was like, oh, look, you know, random guy's going to have the hots for the devil sort of thing. Whereas it was way more interesting because it was basically the devil being the sort of cock blocker to Dudley Moore, because it would always sort of... some sort of loophole that meant that his date/relationship with the girl of his dreams basically wouldn't work out. Also, I'm pretty sure Julie Andrews wasn't a line in... Was Julie Andrews the bloody magic word in the remake?
I don't think they went that route in the remake at all.
Bryce says, on the songs of the short list, the best one on Context is Harper and Will Go West. Relatively weak list of songs. When I listened to El Mal out of context, I was like, what the hell am I listening to? Josie and Spencer doing well wishes for you, AJ. Over the soapbox moment.
I appreciate it. I need
your
what
big
I
day
can.
is coming, says Spencer. Josie says thoughts and prayers. Like, it's death? Was Jimmy Carr dead?
Yeah, I mean,
spoilers,
there was
yes, he is.
Something was going to happen before the show started, but we're not really a political podcast, so it was kind of glossed over.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brody didn't win the Globe for Pianist, and Chalamet could win because music biopics winning leading categories, it's pretty common, not just with Butler winning 2 years ago. But when Andra Day got the Globe for US versus Billie Holiday, Chalamet could be more likely. Even Piece by Piece and Transformers 1 only got one nomination at the Annie Awards. Yeah, and that was in the tech stuff. Oh, Josie asks AJ, after New Year's, where do you put the Christmas lights if you use them for a multi-purpose?
I've been considering they may just stay where they are.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like I need all the zen qualities I can get. And they're surprisingly not bright at all in the dark. They're just like chill. So they may just stay there.
DJ Spike says Merry Christmas, and I know this is an award season pod. What do you think about AEW pay-per-view?
God, I could talk about it for hours. It was a fun experience, but I will say that it was $500 well spent and worth every penny and every bit of time. I am currently wearing part of my bracelets from the event.
It was solid, I'd say.
I'm literally wearing a shirt right now, so there you go.
I find it weird that the main event went half the distance of a women's match, but there we go. Especially when there were 4 people in it and we somehow make it only go 15 minutes, but whatever.
It was all about the storyline at the very end of the match, and the pop we gave rated FTR exactly reveals that. But yeah, solid show. Watch it
Joji
again.
says happy holidays, and Bry says, I love Andrew Stanton being in the Criterion Closet. What was that for? What, John Carter of Mars? Am I thinking of the right director?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. It's just, I just remember him for Shrek, and also because he had the fucking, what's that fucking Rock of Shame or whatever in the bloody Stonecutters episode of The Simpsons. I feel that sort of Stanton's burden with John Carter of Mars, because it's clearly not what he wanted to do. It's what Disney forced upon him.
Yeah, it's like hopefully Nemo and Wall-E cancel out. I mean, John Carter has a weird amount of defenders, and I don't know where they come from, but yeah. I mean, I actually have a copy of it right here, but but I've still never, like, I've tried again, and it's just like it's whatever. I don't know.
And chat is done. And very few frames were dropped. That's pleasantly surprising as well. So yeah, in theory, we'll be here in less than 24 hours, 6 Eastern, to do our final Big 8. Well, I say final Big 8. We'll be doing the 8 with the other categories a few weeks afterwards, but it'll be our final, just the Big 8 predictions for the Oscars.
The last awards video for 2024.
Which will be interesting itself, as like how much changes between tomorrow and when we actually submit what we think's going in on Oscars. Oscar nomination Friday. It's still weird that I'm saying that. I'm so used to it being a Monday or a Tuesday.
I don't like this. It's my usual movie day, and I don't know how that's going to work exactly. Maybe we'll just do an early show. Technically speaking, we're going to probably just do the reaction video, and then we'll do it after I get back from the movies on that Friday.
With my schedule, I might actually not be able to stream it live as well. I just realised, for a change. So I'll probably stream it live. It's just I'll try and not have anything on that tells me what's happening. So I go in blind. But we'll see how that rolls anyway. So yeah, that'll be sorted. If you want to watch the Golden Globe Awards, they're on Paramount Plus. They're on CBS on Sunday. And whatever. I think in terms of other stuff, I've still got the McDonald's videos to get up, which I might try and do for early in the new year, just so the things are chronicled so people are aware of flavors and things. I'm trying to think what movies are coming out. Are there like ones that are sort of awards ones that are getting wide release in the first week?
Let's see.
You guys? Because off the top of my head, I want to say no.
I mean, there's the Screen Unseen, which I'd almost put money on the fact it being a better man.
Oh god, there's a Den of Thieves sequel?
There's
Lee Whannell's new not Universal horror film Wolfman.
That looks absolutely horrible. If you want to talk about a movie that does look good, there's another movie that's by the same person that did Barbarian. It's called Companion. That trailer looks really like wild, so I have a feeling it's gonna be a fun movie.
I wouldn't bet on a Lee Winnell Wolfman movie being horrible.
The trailer just looks really bad. Really
To be fair,
bad.
the trailer for Invisible Man didn't look great, and that kind of was pretty damn good.
Are we still live?
Somehow. And then there's that Back in Action thing on Netflix.
September 5.
The Return of Diaz and the Return of Fox, but every time I see Back in Action, I just think of the Looney Tunes film.
Yeah.
That's accurate. Okay.
I think we'll let you take it home, Owen, because you've got the Snow Globe. Rosebud.
And I have to work at 7. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Ashley can be found on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. Like he alluded to before, there's snack stashes coming soon. Probably more gaming content after the first of the year. So stay tuned for that. AJ will have more movie content eventually. It's coming, like soon. Don't know exactly when soon. AJ will be back after the first of the year too with more reviews, more timely reviews as well. He pretty much said that he's going to try to stay on top of that Rose for the year and see if we can make that work out. So don't get behind again.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. And you can also check the Rolodex of videos, movie reviews versus any of the other content here on this channel. I can be found on Twitter at Sir Owen Disney. Take a shot. Needless to say, I don't post much, but I do post when there's content coming to the channel. You're going to get real tired of seeing us, or you're really going to be very happy with the content you're getting. Probably a little bit of column A, little column B, because we'll be bringing like weekly videos within like the span of like this award season. Lots of recaps to do, pre-shows, post-shows, reactions, nominations, continuing the prediction game, and all points in between. So yeah, that's coming soon. So that's going to be your show today. I want to thank everyone for watching. Brian, Josie, Spencer, DJ Spike, thanks everyone for checking out the channel, whether you're live or in archive. If you lurked tonight, cool. Thanks for having you here tonight. We appreciate having everybody check out the show here on a right before New Year's. So don't know what that's going to bring, but I guess we'll find out sooner enough. That being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Go watch The Substance, because it is incredible. Listen to Taylor Swift. And until next time, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.